What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 5-Te Chapter 101 Million Ryotsu. The Sky Has Fallen, 4th. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. In the face of Blackbeard Teach's inflated challenge invitation, Davy's immediate opening was a series of contempt and disdain. His face gradually became indifferent. Hancock in his arms felt Davy's emotions and stood up from his arms reluctantly. I could not help tidying up the snow, peak barriers. A pair of long legs were tightened a bit, and the blush on her beautiful cheeks still hadn't disappeared. Davy's words hit Blackbeard's forehead hard like a hammer, smashing his head and buzzing, and felt even more ashamed, humiliated. Damn Davy, how dare you talk to him like that? This F***K was broadcast live all over the world. Where does his face go? Does he have no face? He didn't expect that Davy would insult him directly like this. It is directly described as a clown, and he is not even qualified to talk to him on an equal basis. Even the group of pirate subordinates behind him who were brought out of impelled down looked at him playfully. But they also know that Blackbeard Teach's future achievements and current strength are quite terrifying, so they will surrender to him. For a time, they also turned their eyes to Davy above the sky and glared at him angrily. Thief, ha 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 ha, since that's the case, let's try it. Look who the clown is. Having said that, Blackbeard Teach grinned with a few teeth missing. Not to mention, seeing this forced smile, coupled with the classic sloppy appearance of the pirates of the 10th century. Davy really got ripped off by Blackbeard. Even the Empress and Remram 18 next to them had expressions of disgust on their faces. Since Blackbeard Teach is so provocative, Davy naturally won't let the other party down. He walked down slowly, stepping on the void, like a peerless king standing proudly in the sky, walking towards his subjects. Blackbeard's group's relaxed expressions gradually became solemn, and they looked vigilantly at Davy who was walking towards them. They can feel that at this time, the pressure of the king who is not angry and arrogant comes from Davy, which makes them feel stuffy and have a bad premonition. Why, don't you dare to touch me? From a height of 100 meters, proudly looking down at Blackbeard's group, Davy sneered sternly. Ha, let Lousy shoot you first. At this time, San Juan Bad Wolf, who was hiding behind the naval headquarters fortress, suddenly launched an attack. With a height of 180 meters, he directly stretched out his hand and punched out, aiming to face Davy standing at a height of 100 meters. As a brutal pirate of the giant family, the power of the San Juan Evil Wolf is undoubtedly terrifying. A fist wrapped in huge wind pressure and terrifying power blasted out, and the atmosphere was squeezed. On the bay, the Blackbeard Teach group showed a wicked smile. This was the first step of the attack. Advertisement. There is a sudden attack by the San Juan Wolves. Even if it can't hurt him, it can create opportunities for them. Blackbeard Teach is a ruthless man who can endure for decades on the Whitebeard ship for a devil fruit, and its cautiousness is still there. Although he is confident that his strength can reach the world's top level, he has always maintained a high degree of vigilance in the face of Davy. No way, the opponent's subordinate Espada Legion is too terrifying. As Davy who controls this legion, he has also exposed the power of the White Dragon. Its hidden strength is absolutely terrifying, got it? No. The Wolf of San Juan will die horribly. Watching the sudden attack of the giant wolf, Sengoku Garp and Vice Admiral knew very well that Davy was far more terrifying than the strength he showed. Don't you know that bigger ants are more likely to be crushed to death? Davy felt the wind-pressured giant fist coming from his side, and he didn't even look at each other at all. He stretched out his hand calmly and slowly, and a wisp of black smoke rose from Davy's hand like a flame. Shadow. Capital punishment. Lightly parting his thin lips, Davy said coldly. Immediately, the huge San Juan Evil Wolf noticed that the shadow of the building beside him was wriggling, and then pierced into his shadow, followed by his shadow. The next moment, under his terrified gaze, the huge shadows rolled up like ocean waves, turning into giant sharp blades, piercing him directly, and dozens of shadow-sharp blades pierced him into a hedgehog. Even the arm he punched out was cut off by the giant sharp blade and flew away. Ah, it hurts, Captain, it hurts, help. Boom. In the screams, the San Juan Evil Wolf's eyes turned white, and he vomited blood. His body was like a poked volcano, and the blood was like lava flowing out from the dozens of holes that had been penetrated through his body. As his huge body lost consciousness, his legs softened, and he knelt down and collapsed, lying directly on the naval headquarters fortress. And the Blackbeard Teach group was about to launch an attack, and before they could launch, the San Juan Evil Wolf was instantly killed. Seeing what happened, Blackbeard Teach oozes cold sweat on his forehead, but he still burst out laughing and shouting wildly. As expected of you, but Lousy is now a dual-skilled person. Children, attack. Empty shock, snapped. The void is broken, the atmosphere is torn apart, and the spreading crack is approaching. Shiryu of the Rain blasted his sword, and the guns and ammunition of the others flew out. Ridiculous attack. Advertisement. Facing the attacks of Blackbeard and the others, Davy smiled disdainfully, raised his hand slightly, and then threw a punch. The king's fist. Rumbling. A golden shockwave appeared, met all the attacks, engulfed them all, and then swallowed them all under the terrified eyes of Blackbeard Teach and others. Bang bang. What bullshit shock fruit, it is a joke. In Blackbeard's hands, Davy's fist of the king directly beat them to the point of vomiting blood, and their bodies were crushed to the ground by the shockwave. The terrifying aftershock shockwave swept out, and the layers of airwaves and wind pressure rushed in all directions, and sent off an unknown number of marines. Ahem, that's tough, Davy, almost killed lousy, thief ha 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 ha, 35. The smoke cleared, and the Blackbeard Teach group appeared all painted on their bodies. Although it didn't kill him, the blow did injure him. Hey, Davy, I took your terrifying attack, how am I qualified to talk to you now? After resisting a shockwave, Blackbeard Teach was still determined to win over Davy. Scary, I'm sorry, this is just a random blow from this king. Davy shook his head, his eyes turned cold and arrogant again. Since you think this is all I have, let you all feel what power is. After all, everyone in the entire Gulf battlefield was shocked, the sky was dark. The endless Ryotsu poured out from Davy, the sky instantly became oppressive, and then the pressure of endless terror descended. The weaker ones fell to their knees and fainted directly under the shroud of this Ryotsu. The weaker ones, with white eyes and big mouths, couldn't bear the shattering of their souls, and died. All the marine executives and pirates were shocked, trying to hold on to the feeling that their souls were trembling, and they were about to be torn apart. The sky is falling. Davy's indifferent, commanding voice spread across the island. Million Ryotsu erupts. Heaven, the sky is falling. What kind of power is this? God, monster, I'm going home to find my mother. 6,699. Everyone looked blankly at the sky that suddenly fell down. It's just that both Sengoku and Garp discovered that the sky that fell down was only formed by the burst of power that Davy had just gushed out. Advertisement, but it's also very scary. Who the hell sees the sky? The whole sky suddenly collapses and falls. Who doesn't panic? Who doesn't fear? At this moment, not to mention the Blackbeard Teach group, even the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates, the senior officers of the Marine 050 armies suddenly changed color. If the sky canopy exudes infinite and terrible power, if it really falls, I am afraid that the entire marine fort will be sunk. The remaining tens of thousands of marines and pirates will all be crushed to death. Davy, what the hell are you doing? Sengoku was directly mad at Davy's operation, and his whole body exploded into a golden Buddha in an instant. Everyone, if you don't want to die, let the old man join forces and do your best. Sengoku looked at the proud and indifferent Davy fiercely, his eyes couldn't stop the anger. In the roar of Sengoku resounding through the sky, Marines Top 3 Admiral Garp and others all chose to resist Davy's terrorist attack first. Even Hawkeye Mahawk is no exception, only the pirates chose to take the opportunity to escape at this time. It is enough to deal with this falling sky cover with the fighting power of the marine executives. Now is their only chance to escape. Jinbei, who was pierced by Sakazuki's lava iron fist, looked at Sakazuki, who turned his head to deal with the falling sky, and quickly fled with the seriously injured Luffy. Dark water, air shock, slash, Buddha's impact. Meteor volcano, iron fist, meteor, 8-foot Chongu jade. Ice age, super strike whip, 6,699. Many marine high-end combat power has increased, and Shichibukai also shot together to prevent the destruction of the sky cover. Boom, boom boom. Finally, under the explosion of everyone's power, the fallen Ryotsu sky canopy was destroyed. Davy slowly smiled as he looked at the group of people who worked hard to destroy the million Ryotsu sky. Chapter 102 Crush. Destroy the Blackbeard Pirates, first. Previous chapter. Next chapter advertisement. The joint attack of Marine and the pirates finally gradually destroyed the falling Ryotsu sky cover. Everyone escaped from death and could not help but have some heart palpitations. This Davy is really like a Demon King tyrannical coon. There are still more than 70,000 or 80,000 sailors on the entire Gulf battlefield. If Davy's move really falls, I don't know how many people will be killed. The sky cover that exudes a terrifying aura, even if these high-end combat powers join forces, they can be defeated. Davy, are you trying to kill tens of thousands throughout Marineford? Sengoku, who was transformed into a giant golden Buddha, roared at Davy in the sky, and the conqueror's haki on his body was so angry that he could not control it and faintly spilled out. Just to test my strength, Sengoku, why are you panicking? Davy said indifferently. Hearing this, Sengoku gritted his teeth and was almost choked to death by word. Launching such a terrifying attack that requires a dozen masters to jointly launch a big defeat, is it just a test of strength? How uncertain are you about your own power? When you shoot, a piece of sky falls down. Can this kind of attack be called a test of power? At this moment, Sengoku really has a superficial understanding of Davy's strength. Thief ha 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 ha, what an exaggerated power, I don't know what would happen if I devoured your power. Blackbeard Teach suppressed the fear in his heart in the face of the terrifying power he brought back. When he thought of the strongest dark fruit he possessed, and the most destructive shock fruit ability, his heart suddenly sailed down. Endless ambition emerged from the bottom of his heart, his right hand was dark and his left hand shook, and he challenged Davy again. Everyone knows that Davy has the power to transform into a white dragon, but the strength and ability he shows. It doesn't look like he only has the power of Shenlong at all, maybe he has other abilities. He himself is only because of the strange structure of his body, has two hearts, and because of the ability of the dark fruit, he can devour the ability of the devil fruit and take it for himself. But Davy's words are not clear about the specific reasons, but this does not prevent Blackbeard Teach's strong interest in Davy. He's trying to see if he can kill Davy here and devour the opponent's abilities. If Davy's ability is really exaggerated and terrifying, then it is not impossible to replace Whitebeard's shock fruit ability. Empty shock. Blackbeard Teach gathered strength, clenched his fist and slammed his arm, and the space burst, spreading to the crack and rushing towards Davy. Shattering and twisting the void around him, Blackbeard Teach didn't stop attacking, and he raised his right hand to shoot a thick black smoke from the palm of his hand. Dark rays. 35. Rays emitting black smoke shot up, and the cracked space attacked, facing the double attack of Blackbeard Teach. Advertisement. Davy frowned, stretched out his hand. Ryotsu emerged. The terrifying shock ability was blocked by him, and the palm of his hand grasped tightly. The next moment, the cracked space was tightly imprisoned and grasped by him, and then he pushed his palm forward. The space crack bounced out, shattered the dark rays, and continued to attack Blackbeard Teach and others. What? Impossible! Blackbeard Teach's eyes widened as he watched his double ability bounce back with ease by Davy. And his subordinates were also frightened. The shock ability was rebounded, and if they didn't run, they would not be directly hit. Boom! However, before they could run far, the space they were in ruptured, and everyone was hit by this force. Feeling that their bodies were split and twisted, their eyeballs turned white, and they vomited blood. Damn it, Davy! On the cracked rock ground, Blackbeard Teach propped up the slate that was overwhelmed on him, and stood up angrily with blood on his forehead. Next, don't die too soon, Blackbeard. Don't make me unhappy. Looking down at the Blackbeard group below, Davy's tone was indifferent. The corners of his mouth raised slightly, revealing a cruel smile. Hearing these words, Blackbeard's heart froze for a moment when he looked up to the sky. He only saw a few wisps of smoke rising from the sky, but Davy disappeared in an instant. What about people? Behind you, Captain. Suddenly, Blackbeard Teach's subordinates shouted, and Blackbeard Teach turned around hastily, but did not see Davy. He suddenly felt a sense of danger in his heart. A terrifying sense of murderous danger grew, and Blackbeard Teach grinned and pulled out an ugly smile. Dark water. Blackbeard Teach's perception was right. Davy was just behind him, but he was in front of him in an instant. Just letting him know on purpose, Blackbeard Teach thought it was his own strength that discovered Davy. Knowing that Davy will definitely attack him, he directly launched the ability absorbing dark water. Just absorb Davy's ability attack. He can immediately use his shock ability to blow up Davy directly with his face-to-face output. Puff. It's just that Blackbeard Teach is dumbfounded. He stared blankly at Davy with a grim expression on his face, and slashed down with a sword, cutting his chest and abdomen with a deep wound. Advertisement. Peeved. Ah, hurts. Blackbeard Teach was slashed by this sword, fell backwards, rolled around on the ground and screamed. You must know that because of the special nature of dark fruit, he cannot make his body elemental, and the physical damage he takes will be doubled. This knife is like slashing his aorta, Captain. Seeing Blackbeard Teach being slashed with a knife, the fighting champion Giza's badgers shouted anxiously. If Blackbeard Teach were killed here today, they must be in the cold too. Iron Arm Elbow. He roared angrily. At this time, he didn't have the armor and weapons he would wear 2 years later, so he directly attacked with powerful physical techniques. Armament Hockey wrapped around his elbow and slammed into Davy hard. The rest of the people also reacted and gathered around to attack Davy, giving their captain time to recover. However, facing the siege of this group of people, Davy's eyes flashed with contempt. I saw his figure flashed, and he took the lead in coming to badgers, under the fearful gaze of the other party. Extend your palm and the golden Ryotsu condenses. Sero. Do not. Bang bang. Badgers was directly blown away by the golden Sero, lifted into the sky, and then exploded. Badgers. Die. Thunderstorm Blood Slaughter. 35. With a gloomy face, Shiryu of the Rain let out a low voice. The demon sword Thunderstorm in his hand flickered coldly, and a sword sheath shot out. Davy grabbed and crushed it, and under the horrified eyes of Crescent Hunter Daipeng, the black-winged demon in his hand slashed. Swish. The knight's spear was chopped off, and Daipeng was also chopped in half in the middle. The king of evil politics was terrified and wanted to escape, but he didn't dare. If he missed the opportunity to join forces to encircle him, he would surely die later. Boldly rushed forward, Davy was not impressed with this character, and he didn't show much in the original book. Advertisement in his perception, it was only worthy of a 4th order advanced. The black-winged demon in his hand swept past, and he did not know what kind of ability the opponent was, and directly chopped off the head of the evil king. Bang bang bang. Monster. Go to hell. Poison Q held a pistol and shot with the ghost security officer Rafit. The guns and bullets in his hands were highly poisonous. He is very insidious and wants to hurt Davy with poison, but facing these two people, it is even easier. Davy dodged to Lafitte, who was terrified by the brutal death of his companion. Now it was his turn to face Davy. Raffaele hurriedly launched hypnosis, bursting out with all his strength, wanting to hypnosis Davy in an instant. However, when his spirit touched Davy, a more majestic and terrifying spiritual soul force erupted from Davy's eyes, directly shattering his spirit and soul. Lafitte died suddenly. Kikong fell to the ground with blood, and he couldn't die any longer. Bastard. Davy. Liberation. The subordinates who had just recruited died tragically one after another, and Blackbeard Teach, who had recovered a lot of wreckage from the building, screamed furiously. The black smoke spread and filled the surrounding area. A large number of building wreckage was thrown out and smashed into Davy. It's not over yet. Dark cave. Shatter. Throwing out the wreckage of the building, Blackbeard Teach's eyes blazed with anger, and he used his ability again, trying to suck Davy, who was about to be crushed by the object, into the dark cave and crush him to death. Even if it doesn't come true, the shock ability he finally unleashes will definitely hit Davy hard. However, Davy saw through Blackbeard's combo, and he didn't need to do anything else, and the terrifying power of Tier 6 erupted. The black-winged demon slashed out a sword energy, tearing and beheading the poisonous Q and the alcoholic Basque who were just blocking him. Immediately afterward, he headed straight for Blackbeard Teach. With a puff, the sword energy ripped apart the ground, cut through the solid ground, and cut out a deep fissure. And Blackbeard Teach's right arm that activated the Dark Fruit ability was also cut off by this blow. Ah! Damn it, it hurts. The arm was thrown flying, and the severe pain swept through the whole body, and Blackbeard Teach lay on the ground again, screaming and wailing. Chapter 103 Davy's Horror, 2nd, previous chapter. Next chapter advertisement. The screams of Blackbeard Teach resounded through the Gulf battlefield, and everyone was stunned by the battle that broke out in front of them. Christy Davy moved his hands without any ambiguity, and immediately killed several members of the Blackbeard pirates, surprising them. In the face of so many powerful pirates, surrounded by the opponent's entire pirate gang, they directly destroyed the opponent, and several powerful and terrible pirates were also killed in seconds. Are these really terrifying pirates from the 6th tier prison of Impel Down, who were once extremely dangerous, and even had to be wiped out by the world government? How come in front of Demon King Bao-kun Davy, just like chopping melons and vegetables, killing them one by one? That's right, after all, that man is the man who is called the Demon King Tyrannical Kun by the world government. Only the Espada Corps under the opponent's army can fight against 2 admiral forces. There is also the Espada Skeleton Emperor who severely killed the 4 Emperors Kaido of the Beasts, and Davy, who is the controller of the Espada Legion, must be the Terror King far beyond the Espada Legion. The terrifying power of crushing the entire Blackbeard pirates. Not even Blackbeard Teach himself in front of him. You must know that the current Blackbeard Teach 050 is a dual fruit ability. In fact, even Marshal Sengoku can't win it for a while. But in front of Davy, the Blackbeard pirates have completely become a bunch of rookies who are easily suppressed. Such a scene, why not let all the people who were present and witnessed everything stunned and shocked? Davy, you bloody bastard, ah, my right hand, you bastard, cut off my arm. After screaming miserably for a while, Blackbeard Teach, who got up, looked at the broken arm that had fallen beside him. His face was pale and his ugly face was filled with resentment and anger. Advertisement. How much does the loss of an arm affect a person's strength? Blackbeard Teach suddenly felt a little desperate. This devil, why is his strength so terrifying? He has just obtained the shock fruit ability, he has just completed the first step of his dream, and he has not yet gone to the new world to show his grand plans and dominate the world. The result is now. The powerful Blackbeard pirate group he just established was directly destroyed and several members were killed, and even his arm was cut off. People watching the live broadcast all over the world were also horrified to see what happened, and they were so shocked that they were speechless. In a split second, he killed half of the Blackbeard pirates and crippled them. King Christy was so terrifying and murderous, as expected of the Demon King Ryad-kun. Is this what you call it? Is it almost the same as my strength? Ridiculous ambition. Standing on a huge raised stone slab, Davy condescendingly looked down at the Blackbeard group below. The tone was indifferent and full of sarcasm, constantly beating Blackbeard Teach's ambitions. Sure enough, Blackbeard Teach's face was as uncomfortable as he had eaten a dead fly, and he stared at Davy with resentment. Blackbeard Teach glanced at the dead subordinates and gritted his teeth. He regrets it a little now. Why should he take the initiative to provoke Davy, the damn guy, when he has nothing to do? After getting the shock fruit ability, fight the Marines, then escape Marineford and go to the New World to master the new ability. Then recruit troops, compete for Whitebeard's chassis, and strengthen a wave of cadres and crew that he recruited. Wouldn't it be better to wait for him to fully grow up and have a huge power to negotiate with Davy on an equal footing, or to dominate the world on his own? Advertisement, damn it. The only thing he wanted to do now was to give himself a slap, which made him realize that he seemed too inflated. Blackbeard Teach calmed down, and Dark Fruit's black mist turned into an arm, replacing the missing arm. Today it was my Teach who rammed you, how about that? I will send you a lot of treasures in the future. 35 Blackbeard Teach did not rush to do anything, but chose to make peace. Judging from the current situation, he really can't beat the place, so he intends to hold back temporarily and turn the BIFD potential into a powerful strength afterwards. Come back to Davy for revenge. However, he glanced at Vanoka and Shiryu of the Rain who were standing beside him at this time. Blackbeard Teach's face is green with anger. His grandmas, just in a split second, let Davy kill the remaining 2 subordinates? Is this your last word? Domineering and cold? In an instant, everyone put these 2 labels on Davy. Unrelenting in the face of the enemy, as expected of the Demon King Tyrant Kun. Damn it. Blackbeard Teach hated and whispered to Vanoka. Look for an opportunity and kill him with a sneak attack. 35. For Vanoka's shooting ability, he is quite confident, even if he can't kill Davy with a sneak attack, he can still hurt and interfere with the opponent, creating opportunities for him. As for Shiryu of the Rain beside him, now he will try his best to help Blackbeard. He who rebelled against Marine, if he couldn't help Blackbeard to escape, he couldn't escape, and Blackbeard didn't need to say more, he launched an attack. Earthquake. Angrily knocking on the void, a crack in the space appeared. Davy disappeared in an instant, and came to the top of Blackbeard Teach's head, but Blackbeard, who had been prepared, grinned and slapped the ground with his palm. Dark cave space. Advertisement in an instant, black mist spread out on the ground, and then spewed up, covering the space. The Court of Thunderstorms. In the darkness, Blackbeard Teach gave Shiryu of the Rain the vision to see through the darkness. Shiryu pulled out his sword and cut out. His pupils were filled with scarlet, looking extremely eerie. However, under the invasion of this evil sword, Shiryu of Rain's combat power was also greatly improved, and dozens of blood-colored slashes flickered. Thief, ha ha ha, die Davy. Seeing that Davy was eroded by his own dark cave space, Blackbeard laughed wildly, and the output of the dark power was even more violent. This is the dark cave space developed from the ability of the dark cave. Yes. Hearing this, Davy sneered, raised the black-winged demon in his hand, the violent Ryotsu poured out, and suddenly slashed with his arm. All of Shiryu of Rain's slashes disintegrated, and Shiryu of Rain himself was hit by this sword slash, being cut in half, and the cigar in his mouth dropped in surprise. He fell to the ground with unwilling remnants, and there was always extreme unwillingness and resentment in his discolored pupils. Damn it, Blackbeard, you jerk, why are you trying to provoke people? Shiryu of the Rain, die. And the sword energy that defeated Shilu's slash and slashed together with Shilu, like a crescent moon, burst out with a terrifying cold light, directly smashing Blackbeard's dark cave space. What? Impossible. 35 The dark cave space collapsed, and Blackbeard's face was full of disbelief. He didn't expect that this space would be smashed by Davy with a sword. Chapter 104. The Desperate Blackbeard, End It, The Gun of Thunder, 3rd. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Bang. The dark cave space collapsed in an instant, and a bullet flew in, and Davy didn't have to do anything at all. Clang. The million-layer Ryotsu shield loomed, and the bullet was bounced off and annihilated. The blow failed. Van Cow gritted his teeth and shot again, aiming and shooting. At the moment when the bullet club came out, the dark armament hockey was entangled in it. It can only last for 2 seconds, but for high-speed flying bullets, 2 seconds is enough time. It was just the next picture that completely shocked Van Oka. I don't like peanuts, but I'll give them back to you. I saw Davy stretched out his arm, flicked his finger, and the bullet shot by the high-speed rotation was directly flicked by Davy's index finger. This. Puff. Van Oka's eyes widened, his eyes filled with disbelief, his forehead was shot through, followed by an explosion, falling to the ground as a headless sniper. Van Oka. Blackbeard Teach is stupid. Damn, the old comrade he finally recruited, and the strongest, murderous criminals selected from impelled down, were killed by Davy like this. In a blink of an eye, he turned into a bear commander. Now even if he managed to escape and return to the new world, without these henchmen, wanting to rise up in a short time and swallow Whitebeard's territory is basically a delusion. After all, there are definitely a lot of pirates who want to take advantage of the death of the 4 emperors Whitebeard, and they are all very powerful guys. Advertisement. Damn it. Everything is caused by the Davy in front of me. Originally, Lousy has shown weakness to you, and will give you a lot of treasures to make amends after the event. 5. Why are you killing Lousy? If that's the case, let's all die together. All his subordinates were killed by Davy. Blackbeard Teach was really angry. Without these confidants, how could he take the opportunity to grab Whitebeard's territory and stabilize in the new world? I haven't fully mastered this ability, and there is a risk of losing control, but now, Lousy can't take care of that much anymore. Davy, make you pay for your arrogance today. Awaken. The Abyss Dark Cave. Suddenly, endless black smoke spewed out from under Blackbeard Teach's feet. The entire bay battlefield was shrouded in these black mists, and countless damaged structures, including those dead marines and pirates, and even the living people were dragged into these black mists. Fruit awakening. Seeing that the black smoke was actually devouring people, the marines who had retained their lives for a lifetime fled and went to a high place to stand on the building. They were all shocked when they looked at the buildings and corpses that had sunk into the black mist. Even Sengoku and other marine executives changed their faces when they heard the word awakening when they heard Blackbeard Teach. Devil Fruit's awakening is by no means a simple character. Once Devil Fruit awakens, that person's strength will undergo a terrifying change. Paramecia is the ability to change and enhance one's own fruit, and even change the surrounding environment, turning it into one's own field to enhance one's strength. Zone's awakening is to further develop his own transformation ability and life recovery ability and other comprehensive aspects, which is to greatly strengthen his own ability. Logia's awakening is also there, but not much. Advertisement. When Logia's awakening characteristic is clearly to strengthen the ability to change nature, to embody nature. Pulsalino is like that. The thief, ha 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 ha. Do you know Davy, my fruit awakening ability? It is to digest all the objects that can be inhaled into the dark acupoints and convert them into energy that enhances my strength. 35. Although you killed my subordinates, now they have all turned into energy that enhances my strength. How many people have died throughout Marineford? Do you know? The power of tens of thousands, all will be the power raised to strength. Ha 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 ha, you're dead Davy, and Marine, today, you all have to die. At this moment, feeling the strength of his own continuous improvement, Blackbeard Teach showed a happy and refreshing smile, and shouted wildly. In fact, this is not a real awakening, just a half awakening, and there is a danger of losing control. Originally, Blackbeard Teach thought he didn't need to use this trick at all, but it was obvious that Davy had pushed him into a corner, and now he can only do his best, or you will die here today. Another thing that Blackbeard Teach didn't say is that these abilities that convert into energy to enhance his strength are not permanent, but temporary. Don't look at him absorbing energy very well now, but if he can't bear it, he will explode and die. He doesn't dare to be too presumptuous and madly absorb it. Katakana middle dot 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 asterisk asterisk. After all, this incomplete half-awakening will also damage his lifespan, which is the worst. If he can't beat Davy and the Marine executives within a certain amount of time, then he will fall into a backlash period plus life loss, and then he will really be dead. To his regret, Ace's body, as well as Whitebeard's body, were carried away by Sengoku and Garp. However, this power is enough. Interesting. 35. Watching Blackbeard teaches strength from the original 5th Order beginner to the 5th Order intermediate peak strength. Davy was slightly interested, and he could see that the power was vain. Advertisement. It was clear that Blackbeard Teach was trying its best to hold on, and it would take an hour or two at the most before it collapsed. 0.0. Die, Davy. Let Lousy's strongest blow kill you without a corpse. 95. Dark Dragon. The power in his body suddenly rose to a surging power, and Blackbeard couldn't control it at all. Now he just wants to fight quickly, instigate the strength of his body to explode, punch out, the thick black mist turns into a 100-meter black dragon, and kill Davy straight at it. The black dragon roared and roared, and the violent wind pressure swept through, and everyone watched the terrifying battle between the two. After hitting the black dragon, Blackbeard Teach didn't stop and concentrated his strength, his left arm swelled, and he punched it hard. Suddenly, the space burst, cracks spread, the atmosphere was torn apart, the entire island trembled, and the largest terrifying airshock hit Davy. I'm tired of playing, let's send you back to the west. Facing the strongest blow of the double fruit ability, a trace of impatience flashed in Davy's eyes. It's better to end this battle early, and go back and play with the Empress's sweet Wei Wei, Ixu, Feng. A Blackbeard, Davy really didn't care. It's just the first time in history to experience the terrifying strength that he possesses. Now that I'm tired of playing, Davy is a little more serious. Thin lips parted, Davy decided to use Xiao Wu's trick to end Blackbeard Teach. Thundergun. Chapter 105. Teach is dead. The red hair is coming. 4th. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The gun of thunder that exudes terror appears in Davy's hands. When Pulsolino saw this energy spear, his eyes widened instantly. The strongest move of the man who beat him twice at one point. Why does Davy do it? Perusolino said he couldn't understand Davy's ability to use Ulquiorra. Is it possible that Davy can also have all of Espada's abilities? If so, the truth of this unrealistic suspicion is too terrible. Ulquiorra's Scourge like Thunder Spear, Baragan's Death Fog, and more. All abilities hit one person. Pulsolino dared not think about it. Anyway, Davy in front of him is already a strong enough pervert. No matter how much Espada's ability is, it won't hurt. Compared to Ulquiorra's gleaming green Thunder Spear, Davy's Thunder Spear is golden yellow, exuding a majestic atmosphere of kingship and destruction. Watching the oncoming dark dragon and the terrifying destructive twisting force of the rupture void, Davy raised his hand and threw the golden Thunder Spear clenched in his hand. The next moment, the three forces collided, and the golden shockwave bloomed, directly crushing and swallowing the black dragon, and then shattering the twisting and tearing destructive power of the shock ability. The terrifying power erupted, and Blackbeard couldn't even let out a scream, and was swallowed and annihilated by the shockwave of the Golden Thunder's 18 guns. The power of the Thunder Spear is undiminished, and it shoots straight into the distance, blowing up all the towering ice walls and fortress walls, and falling straight into the sea thousands of meters away. Boom boom boom. The gun of thunder fell, and the sea suddenly felt like a nuclear bomb was dropped. The terrifying force that exploded set off huge waves, and the waves rolled in layers, forming a world-destroying tsunami that was thousands of meters high and swept toward naval headquarters. Strange, monster. Why is it a tsunami again? Help. God, is it possible to survive such a terrifying tsunami? How did this monster trigger the tsunami again? Damn it. 99. The Blackbeard pirates were wiped out, but now Marineford faces another crisis. A kilometer-high tsunami. The expressions of the senior members of Marine have changed greatly, and the expressions of several Shichibukai have also changed slightly. Hawkeye's eyes flickered, and no one could guess what he was thinking. Moria was slumped to the ground in fright, and Doflamingo was unable to laugh. Well, do your best to cause trouble, this monster. With a sigh, Aokiji, who had given up chasing Straw Hat Luffy, walked over and scratched his head helplessly. It's over to you, Kuzan. 35. Seeing Kuzan walking over, everyone turned from surprise to delight. Advertisement. Yeah, they still have Aokiji there. Before the war started, Kuzan had already frozen 2 tsunamis hundreds of meters high, but now it's just a 1,000-meter tsunami coming in from one side, so it should be possible. I see. Seeing everyone's hopeful expressions, Kuzan calmed down. The next moment, the Marine 6 styles mooncloth and shaving were combined, and the whole person disappeared in place and jumped into the air hundreds of meters above. Breathing out the cold air, Kuzan showed an unprecedented dignified color. His arms were aimed at the kilometer tsunami, and 2 icicle rays burst out, rushing towards the terrifying tsunami. Ice Age. Click, click. The kilometer-long tsunami was driven by Kuzan's frozen fruit with all its strength, and then slowly spread from the top to the bottom and froze. A tsunami disaster like a world annihilation was solved by Kuzan. Whoosh, falling to the ground again, Kuzan kicked a few rough breaths and took a few deep breaths before slowly calming down. Obviously, the ultimate move to freeze the kilometer-level tsunami this time is also a big consumption for him. It seems that the war seems to be over. At this moment, a calm man's voice suddenly came, causing everyone to look sideways. Redhead Shanks. Four Emperors Shanks, why are you here? Red hair. Seeing the arrival of the red hair, everyone was shocked. Completely do not understand why this war would attract the 4 Emperors Shanks. In fact, the redhead had just arrived and just happened to rescue Kirby, who was about to be punched by Sakari's. Kirby also awakened observation haki just like in the original book, and he was also a high-level observation haki with a high level. Kirby's shout echoed through the battlefield, but just now Davy was fighting the Blackbeard pirates. Sengoku and a group of marine executives, everyone heard it, but Sengoku ignored it for the time being. Now that the battle was over, the red-haired Shanks landed with his crew and came to the bay. Looking at the dead Blackbeard, he sighed in his heart and said nothing. Instead, it started with Haki's words in the original book. After the words, everyone present was unmoved. Okay, the bodies of Whitebeard and Ace will be handed over to you. Sengoku agreed with the red-haired Shanks' request in a heavy voice. If it weren't for these casualties of marine soldiers on the battlefield, with the red-haired Shanks coveting advertisement in fact, Sengoku didn't want to hand over these 2 significant corpses to others. But the current naval headquarters does not have the capital to fight a newly arrived 4-way pirate group. Naval headquarters has the capital, but Sengoku doesn't want to keep fighting. Because as the sailor said a few years ago, naval headquarters, have achieved their desired victory. Continuing to fight mindlessly, except for adding a large number of casualties again, there is no meaning at all. And another reason is that Sengoku slowly looked at Davy, who was not far away, and saw that the other party was still standing there, wondering what he was thinking. However, it seemed to perceive many gazes that moved following Sengoku's gaze. Davy turned around slowly, his horns raised slightly, and looked at many of the world's top combat power masters. Marshal Sengoku, I don't know if I killed the Blackbeard pirates for you. How should naval headquarters thank me? Well, give you enough time. After half a month, I want to see your thank you. As soon as Davy exited, all the marine executives had their faces darkened. It's because of you unscrupulous bastards that Marineford is on the brink of collapse. Although it is said that he did kill the Blackbeard pirates and solved a big trouble for them. But this kind of rude and domineering attitude really made them a little annoyed. It was you who were provoked by Blackbeard himself, and you killed them by yourself. Why are you now turning around to ask the Marine for a thank you gift? We Marine didn't ask you to deal with Blackbeard either. Marine executives were so angry that their teeth were itching, but there was nothing they could do. Endure it. Are you, Davy, king of Christie's kingdom? After thanking Sengoku, Shanks turned to look at Davy with a kind smile. For this man who has shocked the world several times in the past 6 months, Shanks wanted to get to know him a long time ago. I wonder if there is a chance to make friends with your excellency? Let's chat about wine another day? Win over. Shanks made a friend request to Davy, that is, to make a friend, but also try to have one less terrifying enemy on the sea. Although Shanks is not afraid of Davy, but thinking of what he will do in the future, he is still sending out an invitation to make friends with Davy. Advertisement, friend. Not really. I don't have the heart to do it with you today. Look forward to it. It's better not to touch me next time. 5. Davy glanced at the red-haired Shanks and turned away. To make friends? 050 Now that he has the task of conquering and destroying the 4 emperors, will he still make friends with Shanks? Even without this mission, Davy probably wouldn't have had any friendly contact with them. After all, if he wants to dominate the pirate world, he will sooner or later suppress all pirates. The era of pirates will end in his hands, and Davy's indifferent words made everyone stunned. What exactly does this guy mean? Does he still want to fight the pirates of the red-haired Shanks of the 4 emperors? Because I'm not in the mood to fight anymore today, so I let go of red-haired pirates? Everyone was stunned by this. This guy was too arrogant, facing the invitation of the 4 emperors Shanks. It was all like this. Shanks didn't care too much, wondering where Davy's hostility to him came from. With a smile, this matter was revealed, and the future will be discussed later. The most important thing at the moment is to deal with the remains of Whitebeard and Ace, as well as the pirates of the Whitebeard pirates. As Sengoku declared the war over, rescue operations began across the battlefield. Davy, who left the bay ground and returned to the sky, chuckled lightly. Glancing at the battlefield below. Come on, it's time to leave. 35. Davy whispered to the Empress Remram and the others. Several people soon came to the port and directly requisitioned one of Marine's warships. The faces of many Marines were ugly and reluctant, but under the presence of the Empress. Soon, the Marines have become mindless dogs, unconditionally obeying orders. In this way, a warship that took Davy and several people on board slowly sailed back to the daughter country of Nine Snake Island. Chapter 106 Get Rich, Call Again, First Update, Previous Chapter. Next chapter advertisement. A few days later, the Marine warship returned to the daughter country of Nine Snake Island. Sitting on the throne in the hall of the Emperor of the daughter country, holding the Empress Hancock in his arms. Davy has begun to check the origins and rewards he has earned in Marineford. Ding, you killed the future 4 emperors Blackbeard, Marshal Teach. You got 5800 origin points, close black lens bracket. Ding. Since you killed the future 4 Emperors Blackbeard Marshal teach, you have completed the hidden mission. 4 Emperors Killer. Even a mere pirate dares to be king? Kill a pirate 4 Emperors to prove the true king. Get quest rewards. 10,000 origin points, 10 silver summoning tickets. Ding. Congratulations for killing 2 4 Emperors and getting the title of 4 Emperors Killer. Your reward is doubled. You got 20,000 origin points, 10 consecutive silver summoning tickets 2, Dark Fruit 1. In the next slaughtering Emperor reward, every time you kill one, the reward will be doubled. Ding. You killed and annihilated the future 4 Emperors and all members of the Blackbeard Pirates, and you have obtained a total of 15,300 origin points. 10,000 is the annihilation of the Imperial Group, and 5,300 is the reward for killing all members. Blood earned. I never thought that killing Blackbeard Teach, who had not yet become a 4 Emperors, would actually be rewarded at the 4 Emperors level. This was a bit unexpected for Davy. And in this series of rewards, it even includes Blackbeard Teach's Dark Fruit. The so-called strongest fruit that Blackbeard Teach waited for decades to get, but he burst out from Blackbeard Teach. What a bit of luck. And Davy's current origin point has reached 64,305 origin points. 17,600 origin points from killing Whitebeard, and 41,100 origin points for killing Blackbeard Teach's gang. Coupled with the end of Grimjow's slaughter, the original origin point increased from 3,577 to 5,605. In this wave of origin points from Summit War, Davy has gained a total of more than 64,000 origin points. Another platinum rank summon. Advertisement. I went on a trip, conquered the Empress Hancock, participated in the Summit War, and won so many rewards. The trip didn't come in vain, Davy grinned. Finally, at the end of the war, the fear came, and Davy was not surprised that he knew the plot well. But Davy didn't bother to do it himself with the remnants of the Whitebeard Pirates and the Red Hair Pirates. This is true even if there are system-issued tasks. After so long, Bloody annihilated the Blackbeard Pirates, participated in the Summit War, and saw a large-scale war. To be honest, Davy was a little tired of it. The remnants of these 4 Emperors, as well as other 4 Emperors' forces, will wait for him to complete all affairs of the kingdom after he returns. Just leave it to the Espadas of the Espada Legion under his hand to complete it. He does not need to do it himself. There are so many powerful, enough to crush any subordinate of the 4 Emperors' forces. If you have to do it yourself, then what kind of king is your own king? That's why Davy didn't bother to fight the Redheads. The fight with the Blackbeard Pirates was just a test of the powerful strength that he had now soaring. Davy suddenly found himself better off being a salted fish king. In the future, with his continuous summoning, there will be more and more strong people under his hands. Just let go and let the people under his hands do it. And he is just happy to play the farming game with the 2-dimensional wives. At his current level, if he does it himself, it will be a bit out of character. Okay, the next step is the gratifying summoning session. Davy's eyes grew expectant after finishing his harvest at Summit War. Put the Empress who fainted into steam in her arms and put it on the throne. Davy thought. The scene in front of him shifted, and the cosmic starry sky appeared again, and Davy appeared in it. 4 colored planets come into view. Advertisement. Among them, the Platinum Gold planet is the largest, and perhaps as the level increases, the summoning pool will become more magnificent. System. First get the 10 consecutive summon coupons twice. Davy said excitedly. He decided to use the 2 10 consecutive summoning tickets first. Ding. You have consumed 10 consecutive summoning coupons 2 and made a summon, 99. Ding. You have performed 20 silver summons and obtained the following items, 55. Ding. Congratulations on your Jillian Manos Grande 2. Ding. Congratulations on getting the primary flame resistance. Ding. Congratulations on obtaining the Yuanhong sword. Ding. Congratulations on getting the summoning cute Pokemon Pikachu, 35. Ding. Congratulations on getting Shadow 10, 66.35. Ding. Congratulations on your Ajuka's Manos Grande 2.35. Ding. Congratulations on obtaining the essence of Soul Core *50. 66. Ding. Congratulations on getting a whole box of Fulling Mustard. Ding. Congratulations on getting low-level virtual *5000. 66.99. Ding. Congratulations on getting the summoned character, the 3rd Blade Subordinate Officer. P.S. Don't write much, so as not to be scolded for the number of words. Rubbish. Looking at the things summoned by these 20 consecutive silvers, Davy was speechless and raised his forehead. Advertisement. Can we have something nice? However, 2 Ajuka's mid-level Manos Grande were summoned, as well as 3 of Hallible's subordinate sisters. This is not bad. After all, the 3 sisters Davy look good too. And Hallible should be very happy to see them. What's more, when more and more female characters are summoned, Davy intends to let them form a king's female guard corps. The female escort corps dedicated to serving and protecting him protects the safety of the king's bedroom on weekdays. In the evening, Davy can also teach them to practice by words and deeds and help them become stronger. After all, Davy today is also a tier 6 super strong, so there is no problem in teaching a few at a time. Davy is a big good man and a good king, but I won't call of Lee's out of these female characters and leave them alone. I must be responsible for them. At least they have to improve their strength one by one, and their future development will also need their strength. Okay, Since the bottom has been finished, the next step is the platinum summoning. Putting aside these thoughts, Davy looked startled. Little pig, perform a 10 consecutive platinum summons, 35. Ding. You have consumed 50,000 origin points and made a 10 consecutive platinum summons, 99. Ding. You performed a 10 consecutive platinum summons and obtained the following items. Ding. Congratulations on getting the summoned character. When the first system alert sounded, Davy's eyes widened instantly. It was her. Chapter 107 The Queen of Ice, Esdes, Chapter 2. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement, ding. Congratulations on getting the summoned character, Queen of Ice, Esdes. The first summoned character is the Queen of Ice, Esdes? Davy grinned, this wave is not lost, ding. Congratulations on getting the medicine of the devil's energy. Ding. Congratulations on getting the original third Espada, Nelly L2 Odelschwank, and subordinate officer. Ding. Congratulations on getting the first Espada, Coyote Stark, and subordinate officer, 99. Ding. Congratulations on getting 1000 origin points, 35. Ding. Congratulations on obtaining the Otherworld Night Cultivation Technique. Ding. Congratulations on obtaining the Devour organization. Ding. Congratulations on getting the summoned character Miss Shinobi Chunin * 100. Ding. Congratulations on getting the summoned character Mizukage Open Black Lens Bracket Terumi Mei Close Black Lens Bracket. Ding. Congratulations on getting the Pure Soul Crystal 20. Fried. This wave of summons is the correct way to open it. The first summoning character directly touched Davy's heart. Ice Queen Esdes. It can be said that she is the most popular female character in the healing masterpiece, The Scarlet Eye. Loved by thousands of anime fans, Davy is naturally one of them. However, with the constant changes in himself today, Davy's heart for the past has gradually faded. If you look at Esdes, you may almost maintain an appreciative attitude. No, I still like it, advertisement Davy muttered to himself. How can a person's preferences and character change so quickly? No matter how he pretends to be, it can't be changed. It's just faded a lot. There was only one thought in his mind, and that was to summon all the female characters he liked and build a huge King's Guard. This goal is not too much, is it? There is still the origin point of 15,305 left. Davy thought about it, and decided not to continue summoning for the time being. There are too many characters, and it is not easy to arrange, so let's just leave it for now, wait for more origin points, and then proceed to the platinum summoning. Exit the summoned cosmic starry sky and return to the palace hall of the Empress. Hancock had woken up, and when he saw Davy's appearance, he threw himself into his arms with a flustered face. Davy, where did you go just now? The concubine thought you left. Touching Hancock's head, Davy smiled and said, don't worry, when I leave my daughter's country, I will inform, BIFD, you. Yes, Hancock covered his heart with his hands, his face flushed, and he had just done too much with Davy on the throne. So far, she hasn't recovered, and she doesn't dare to sit on Davy's body, for fear of being tricked again. Dashong, banana is good, but if you eat too much with Terensu, your body will suffer from indigestion. Ha ha. Seeing the twisted posture of the Empress holding her legs, Davy smiled slightly and motioned for the other party to tidy up his clothes. Then, Davy raised his hand and snapped his fingers. Several Uzumaki appeared, and one after another figure stepped out of the Uzumaki. At the entrance of the main hall, 100 ninjas wearing Kirigakure Chunin clothes appeared and knelt down on one knee. 4 Uzumaki appeared in a row. Deidara walked out with a stunned face, and the Uzumaki on the other side, Terumi Mei also appeared swaying. In the middle Uzumaki, the little girl's version of Nilu appears with her 2 subordinates. The first Espada Stark walked out of the Uzumaki next to Nilu with his subordinate officer, with some doubts in their eyes, but they soon became clear. Advertisement finally, in Uzumaki, who was in the center C position, there was the sound of high-heeled military boots stepping on. A blue-haired Lang Ao Queen walked out of Uzumaki in a white military uniform, short skirt, military cap, high-heeled white military boots, and a sword hanging around her waist. Ice Queen, Esdes, Coyote Stark, Lilynet. Deidara. Terumi Mei, 35, Miss Shinobi Ninja, * 100. Allegiance to you, Your Majesty the King, all summoned characters, except Esdes, pledge allegiance to Davy. Empress Hancock was completely shocked when she looked at the large group of people in front of her. Davy didn't know what to do, he snapped his fingers and summoned such a strong man. Especially the blue-haired woman who came out at the end gave her a sense of crisis of death. Get up. Davy lowered his chin on the back of his hand, tilted his head slightly, and raised his horns, evoking a charming smile. And Davy's handsome and charming smile is being completely seen by Esdes. Esdes's heart skipped a beat. Davy's smile was reflected in her mind, and she couldn't get rid of it. So cute. Esdes was instantly attracted by Davy's smile. She showed a very beautiful smile, took a few steps forward, and came to Davy. Are you my king? I like you, how about a love affair with me? 39. After saying that, Esdes leaned down, his pale slender jade hand caressed Davy's face, and his fingers tugged up Davy's chin. Spitting pandan from the mouth, showing a beautiful smile, staring at Davy with earnest and sincere eyes. Advertisement. As soon as this statement came out, everyone in the hall was shocked. This woman did not show allegiance to the king when she met, but bluntly said that she fell in love with the king and wanted to fall in love with the king. They are all stupid. How can this woman be so bold? Is this too brave? And the Empress Hancock was even more angry at what Esdes said. Insolent person, Lord Davy is a concubine man, how can you fight for it? Hancock directly showed her domineering and arrogant attitude, pointed at Esdes with her slender white fingers, and rebuked her. Who are you? Esdes turned his head to look at Hancock, the Empress standing beside the throne. The earnest and sincere eyes turned into cold senrin, and he said indifferently. In her perception, Hancock's strength posed no threat to her at all. Want to duel with General Ben? Don't blame me if you die. You. Hancock was annoyed, and he was about to scold and fight. Okay, Hancock, and Esdes, don't provoke Hancock. Seeing these two, an empress and a queen were about to fight each other, Davy had no choice but to stop it. With Hancock's strength, if the two really fight, Davy is really afraid that Esdes will kill her. After all, Hancock's strength level is only the 4th order advanced level, and has not reached the 5th order admiral level. But Esdes' rank, Davy was also a little surprised by the level of Esdes. Because of the level of Esdes, it has reached the 6th level. Chapter 108 Heart-wrenching Esdes, 3rd, previous chapter. Next chapter advertisement Tier 6 Esdes, the 3rd 6th order powerhouse in Christie Kingdom besides himself. And it is the strongest of the 3 6th orders. Davy curiously clicked on the specific panel properties of Esdes. Open black lens bracket Esdes close black lens bracket rank, 6th order peak race, human. Talents. Strong fighting instinct, unyielding will. Abilities. Demon God's appearance Demon's essence, freezing ability, unrivaled combat skills, torture, punishment master. Weapon. Saber, the author does not know the name. Comprehensive evaluation. The terrifying Queen of Ice is comparable to the 7th order King of the Heavens and the world. The 6th order peak. Really outrageous, is Esdes really that strong? As expected of the Queen who first fought with a million army and dozens of Tegu envoys in the original book. I just don't know if Esdes will use the ability to freeze time and space of Mokobatmo now. There is no display in the panel, isn't it Esdes yet? Is it Esdes who was summoned from before the time of Jachami? After all, in the original book, this trick was developed by Esdes in order to keep the dregs and escape. Just for this kind of thing, such a terrifying trick was developed. It's enough to prove Esdes' terrifying fighting talent. The feeling of love makes Esdes' fighting strength rise rapidly, but Esdes also loves the wrong person. Advertisement in the end, the knife fooled everyone, and the strongest Esdes finally turned into ice chips and died. And now, Davy would never let that happen. Esdes, Queen of Ice, will always love him and live with him forever. Esdes, can you do this trick, Mugbatmo? Raising his hand and grabbing Esdes' white kakin, Davy asked softly with a smile on his face. What is that? Esdes froze for a moment. Davy suddenly held her hand. This heart-pounding feeling is something I've never felt before. It's really amazing. She likes it very much. Turning Hancock's cold gaze to Davy's face, Esdes smiled beautifully. Is this the name of the move you thought of for me? It's confirmed. This is Queen Esdes before she's met Zakimi. Yes, if you can practice it, you can become very strong. Davy nodded. Yes, can you tell me the specific effect of this formula? Hearing this, Esdes' cheeks were slightly red, his heart beat faster, and he said in a very gentle tone. Mokobatmo is. Davy nodded and explained to Esdes the effect of this ultimate move. Soon, Esdes showed a delighted smile. Okay, I'll be able to cultivate Mokobatmo soon. Sure enough, Davy is really cute. Just meeting for the first time created a very practical ability for her. If she wants to kiss hot on Davy in the future, she is not afraid that Davy will run away, freeze him directly, and let her do it. Davy, as expected of the man she likes, really loves him more and more. Advertisement Esdes' gentle eyes are about to melt, and Davy feels very wonderful to be looked at by her expression and eyes. Well, come to me first, Esdes, Davy said to Esdes. It is good. The little man he fell in love with at first sight was about to deal with things, and Esdes obeyed Davy obediently. Turn around and walk a few steps. Davy and Hancock, the female emperor, were standing beside Davy. He watched Davy's every move with incomparable tenderness. When she was summoned to this world, she had already received a message on her way out of Uzumaki. In this world, Davy is the king of a kingdom, and there are many strong men under the unified army who conquered the 4 seas for him and laid a huge sea area. Since the little man she loves is a king, then she will lay it down for him, conquer the whole world, help him reach the top, and become the only emperor in this world. That was the only thought in Esdes' mind. As for the filthy and rotten empire that once was, let him be wiped out, it has nothing to do with her now. From now on, she will fight to conquer the whole world for her beloved king. Finally, become Davy's queen, ask for flowers. The first step is to ask Davy for military power and control the Espada Legion, the Manos Grande Legion and the Kingdom Army. Become the Admiral Army of Christie Kingdom, however, that's all for later. Now, all Esdes can do is to stand aside, look away, and stare coldly at the other summoning figures in the hall. Okay, Stark and Didera, Shao Nilu, and Miss Shinobi Ninja, you will wait for me at Hueco Mundo, for now. Terumi may stay. After arranging a few important summoning characters, Davy opened the black cavity directly. Advertisement let a few people enter it with 100 Miss Shinobi Ninjas, and arrive at the small Hueco Mundo, to wait for him. Yes, my lord. 0.0 in the face of Davy's orders, everyone dared not say much and obeyed. Even Didera, the lawless little turkey, obeyed honestly. Xiao Nilu Davy also did not keep her. A little girl, what are you doing here? Let's put it in the Hueco Mundo. First, he explained that the palace they built by Zaolaporo should be almost the same. With the hands-on ability of the Manos Grandes, this kind of thing is not difficult. Another point is that Xiao Nilu's situation makes Davy a little puzzled. It stands to reason that the characters summoned by the system should be in a beautiful and complete state. So why is Nilu still in the attitude of Xiao Nilu? Davy deeply doubted that there was something tricky about it. Davy plans to wait until he returns to Christie's kingdom to study the specific situation of Nilu carefully. What Davy didn't realize was that when Xiao Nilu heard that she was going to Hueco Mundo, reluctance and anger flashed in her eyes. But in the end, he entered Hueco Mundo obediently. As for Terumi Mei and Esdes, of course he stayed by his side, and there was no such thing as leaving a queen and Oni-san elsewhere. Wouldn't it be nice to stay by your side and serve him? Chapter 109. The Empress's Guidance and Cultivation, 4th. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement left behind Mizuka's Terumi Mei in the Hokage world. Everyone else entered the little Hueco Mundo, which did not embarrass her, and stared at Davy with a calm expression throughout. Waiting for Davy's next order. It's just that his eyes were full of other expressions, and he added a fragrant lip. Terumi Mei showed a meaningful look. Instead, she wanted to see this little king, what she was going to do when she stayed. It's just that Davy's next sentence made her stunned. Terumi Mei, you should stay in the daughter country for now and assist Hancock. As soon as these words came out, Terumi Mei's expression and eyes were instantly stunned, completely unexpected. The reason why Davy kept her here was to have her stay here to help Hancock develop his power. Immediately, Oni-san Terumi Mei showed a look of resentment, and Davy glanced at him and pretended he didn't see it. Cough cough. Mainly not because he didn't want to take Terumi Mei back to Christie Kingdom. But he showed a wave of strength in the summit war, and then the eyes of the world government and naval headquarters are definitely at the center of the storm. And Hancock followed him the whole time, and he had a close relationship with him, and everyone knew about this relationship. 053. Therefore, it is better to leave Terumi Mei here to protect the Empress. Although the world government and naval headquarters are likely to dare not do so. And the naval headquarters was directly smashed and can no longer be used. That level of damage cannot be repaired at all, the danger is too great, and it will still be relocated to the original G1 branch of New World just like the original. There is no time to think about who to deal with, I am so busy that I am overwhelmed. During this period, Sengoku abdicated, Kuzan and Sakazuki fought a 10-day fierce duel at Punk Hazard. Sakazuki defeated Kuzan and became the marshal. Even the director of Impel Down, Magellan, was demoted because of the prison riots and the escape of a large number of heavyweight and terrible pirates. Another reason to keep Terumi Mei here is that Davy has the ability to summon characters and reverse summons. Instantly cross the ignoring distance and come directly to the position of the summoned character. Bug level talent ability. Lord King, is this really good? Terumi Mei felt that she could fight for it again. She is in her 30s, and now she basically belongs to Davy's people. She still doesn't want to just come to this world and be let go. Cough, let's do it for now. If you have anything, you can contact me. I can come over at any time. Having said that, Davy blinked at the resentful Oni-san Terumi Mei. Advertisement. Hearing this, Terumi Mei sighed slightly and could only accept it reluctantly. Now that Davy has hinted at him like this, she can't go on and refute Davy's face. At night, in the Empress's bedroom, after being accompanied for a period of time, Davy is now living in the Empress's palace without any hesitation. Anyway, Hancock won't reject his meaning, but is looking forward to it, and has already started a new round of fantasy. That night, Hancock made up his mind when he learned that Davy was going to leave his daughter's country in a few days. During this time, Davy taught her to practice from time to time, giving her a sweet date after hitting a punch, but he never taught her the true meaning of becoming stronger. Every time it is a full-scale teaching, cultivation and showdown guidance, then stop teaching at a deeper level. So now, Empress Hancock finally can't stand Davy's teaching attitude. After Davy stayed in the bedroom and gave her training guidance again, the Queen directly launched a frantic attack on Davy. In the end, Davy was forced to be helpless, so he had to agree to Hancock and perform the secret technique of strengthening her. Hey! That night, the 6th Order Davy showed his terrifying strength and suppressed the Empress to the death. There is absolutely no room for resistance. The 6th Order hangs the 4th Order, isn't that just like a joke? Kneel down and sing Conquest, serve directly. In the bedroom next door, Esdes, who was sleeping soundly, suddenly opened his beautiful eyes, and an inexplicable look and coldness flashed through his eyes. Humph! Smelly woman, I'll let you for a while, just as this general is also learning how to cultivate. Another day, I will find the lovely Davy to personally guide her to practice and become stronger. Swish. Bai was turned over, and Esdes' figure disappeared. In the middle of the night, 3 pairs of eyes stared at the training guide in the bedroom. Remram looked resentful. Esdes curiously studied and wrote down. Terumi Mei lives far away, completely unaware. A few days later, Davy was pleased with the speed at which Hancock was improving. Tear apart the space, opened the black cavity, and left with everyone. But before leaving, Davy left Terumi May 10 daughters, Miss Shinobi Chunin. Terumi May approached him and said that he wanted to train his subordinates here, and by the way, he could instruct some female warriors in the daughter country to learn ninjutsu. Therefore, Davy had no opinion and gave her 10 female Chunin from Hueco Mundo, and left it to Terumi May. It's good to have the ninja subordinates in the ninja village that you are familiar with. Advertisement. It would be interesting if Terumi May's idea actually came to fruition. It's interesting to think about the 9 snake warriors with water-style ninjutsu and haki. In the future, it can even be promoted in Christie Kingdom to create a ninja army. Inside Hueco Mundo, Davy stepped into it with the seeds and the others. Davy, who carried a small Hueco Mundo with him, ripped open the black cavity and entered the Hueco Mundo directly. A few seconds after they entered, Stark arrived with a large group of the Espadas. Quickly salute Davy and wait to see if Davy has any new instructions. Let's go and see the palace. Nodding to the crowd in response, Davy glanced at the palace in the distance, looking forward to it, wondering how these Manos Grandes were built. At this moment, Davy was still wondering where Xiao Nilu went. As a result, Xiao Nilu ran towards him with 2 subordinate officers and a giant snake. With a thud, it took off directly, crashed into his arms, and rubbed his little face hard. Why are you only here now? Nilu is so boring. 35. Raising her cute little face, Xiao Nilu said coquettishly to Davy. Sorry Xiao Nilu, I'm helping guide Hancock to practice recently. Facing Xiao Nilu's coquetry, Davy reluctantly stroked her head and said. It's just that with this touch, Davy suddenly regained his energy and took a closer look at Xiao Nilu's appearance. Davy immediately noticed something was wrong. Xiao Nilu's mask, which had been chopped in half by the sneak attack, is now in perfect condition. Moreover, the mask that was shattered by the sneak attack, the slashing scar that spread, and the scar extending from the forehead also disappeared. But Nilu still looks like a little Nilu. The characters summoned by this system are all in good condition, so why hasn't Xiao Nilu become Da Nilu yet? Which step went wrong? Davy was lost in thought, but soon, he understood. She looked at Xiao Nilu in her arms with meaningful eyes. Dude, I'm straight dude. This is getting used to the state of Xiao Nilu, and I have started to play with him. Davy's expression was a bit awkward, but he didn't mean to expose her either. Since Nilu likes to play like this, then follow her. Advertisement anyway, Xiao Nilu is also very cute, and Davy doesn't dislike it. After all, the contrast between the posture change between Xiao Nilu and Da Nilu is also very cute. Is that so? Then you have to guide Nilu to practice. Hearing Davy's answer, Xiao Nilu showed a cute smile. Okay, I will definitely guide you to practice. Davy responded with a smile. Guiding practice? That must be a good guide to guide Da Nilu's cultivation. Since she has said so herself, Davy certainly has no objection, and will definitely grant her this wish. While joking with Xiao Nilu, everyone came to the White Palace group built by Espada's hard work. I have some acquaintances with the Hueco Mundo, Shu Yegang and Shinigami's original work, but I can still see it and put a lot of effort into it. Even more grand than the original building. Seeing these palaces, Davy nodded in satisfaction. Beside him, Esdes, who was clinging to him, also had a satisfied expression on his face. But I don't like the environment of Hueco Mundo. Lord King, please give us another half a month, and soon we can complete the remaining half of 5.3. Seeing Davy's satisfied look, Zale Aporo said aside. Huh, well, let's figure it out, don't worry. Davy was slightly surprised that the palace of such an exaggerated scale was only half. However, think about the Shinigami world. The Shinigami world and the Hueco Mundo world are built with spirits, and the construction speed is very fast, which is also a normal category. After walking around in his own palace, Davy can only sigh that Zale Aporo is not only a scientific research talent, but also a construction talent. Under his command, this palace was built really well. But soon, what happened next made Davy a little dumbfounded. Because Zale Aporo actually took him to a palace confinement room. 2 familiar figures are being detained in this room. And these 2 people are Impel Down's deputy guard Domino, and the jailer chief Sadi Chan. This Zale Aporo is poisonous. Chapter 110 Impel Down Shuangmei, go back to China, first. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement why are 2 Impel Down executives here? Zale Aporo, what the hell is this guy doing? The 2 orange-haired and blonde-haired women in front of me are not the deputy guard Domino and the jailer Sadi Chan in Impel Down? During the time he passed through Impel Down, Davy only remembered that he seemed to have only opened the black cavity crack and absorbed the soul. How did Zale Aporo kidnap these 2? Your Majesty, forgive your subordinates for making their own opinions. Seeing Davy's strange look, Zale Aporo quickly explained. After listening to Zale Aporo's explanation, Davy realized that it was this guy who saw the battle between the Straw Hat crew and Magellan and others. I was attracted by the fruit ability they showed, so I suddenly wanted to study the devil fruit ability of these pirates. Then he took the 9th Espada Arenilo into Impel Down for research. Many 6-story Eternal Hell pirates were captured and returned to the Void Knight Palace. On the way, Sopolo inadvertently saw these 2 high-level Impel Downs, so he started to think. Since Davy is the king, how can a king not have a strong bodyguard or maid by his side? Even if there is, the more the better. For the sake of his own king, Zale Aporo made this decision on his own initiative. help the king to collect powerful and beautiful maids. I believe that the king should not blame him. After listening to Zalaporo's explanation, Davy silently gave a like in his heart. This kind of subordinate really gave him some headaches and relief. You have to say that he has overstepped his presupposition, but this is also considered his own sake. Well done, I took note. Reaching out and patted Zalaporo's shoulder, Davy said with a light smile. Yes, it is my greatest honor to serve the king. 99. Advertisement. Zalaporo immediately knelt down on one knee and said excitedly. He actually got the praise of the king. Very good, after the king is gone, take it off and save it. This is the first time he has been praised by the king, and he has personally photographed the clothes. Davy tilde operator, Esdes pouted, hugged Davy's right arm, fell deeply into the two towering snow peaks, and stared at Davy with a gentle and lovely expression. How could Davy stare at other women for so long in front of her? Her Majesty said she wanted Davy to stare at her and give her a little pamper. Okay. Looking at the lovely Queen Esdes who was coquettish to him, Davy smiled helplessly, and had to lightly touch the other's lips. Ah, Nilu wants it too. Wave. Xiao Nilu, who was lying on Davy's shoulder, also snorted at Davy's cheek, and then showed a smug smile. 66.99 All of Espada's subordinates were silent, and they didn't dare to open their mouths to read more. Lilynette grabbed Stark's hand, shivering. P.S. There is a saying that Lilynette is Stark's main soul. I don't know if it's true or not, forget it. Look at the man in front of you. Domino and Sadi-chan were also trembling slightly and didn't dare to speak at all. After all, the man in front of him is a terrifying demon king who has caused many storms in the world. Although they work in Impel Down, they usually see newspaper news. Ask for a monthly ticket for flowers. Advertisement. He also has a very clear understanding of the outside world. What they didn't expect was that the terrifying demon king in front of them suddenly gave them a gentle smile. Then he explained to Sapolo beside him, let them eat and live well, treat the two of them kindly, and wait for his order. Seeing the figures of Davy and the others gradually leaving, Sadi-chan suddenly let out a gasp, covered his heart and trembled violently. His face became a little painful and rosy, and his delicate body trembled. Domino, who was beside him, suddenly stopped breathing and jumped, and two flushes rose on his white cheeks. The two recalled Davy's charming and gentle smile, and they felt as if the whole person was numb. Hey, what's wrong with you, Sadi-chan? Soon, Domino saw that Sadi-chan was different. He quickly lifted up Sadi-chan whose body was trembling, and asked anxiously. As Impel Down's friends and best friends for many years, the two of them are very good. Seeing the state of Sadi-chan at this time, Domino was taken aback. With their current situation, they may stay here for the rest of their lives, and it is basically impossible for naval headquarters to save them. So now Sadi-chan, her best friend, is her only support. The two of them can only keep each other warm. Domino doesn't want anything bad happen to his good sister. A little, Sadi-chan wants to change pants. Facing the anxious concern and greeting from her best friend, Sadi-chan tilted the bangs in front of her forehead, revealing her beautiful white eyes. Sadi-chan said coquettishly with a trembling, shaky voice. 66.39 Domino didn't quite understand it at first, but when she looked at the light on the ground showing her figure. Domino got it. This S.M. Queen. Domino was instantly speechless by Sadi-chan. Advertisement. Does this work too? On the other side, after inspecting the current little Hueco Mundo, Davy smiled contentedly. Now, Hueco Mundo has added more than 60,000 low-level virtuals, more than 20,000 powerful virtuals, and 10,000 giant virtuals. Jillian has given birth to 100 heads. There are still many souls that have not been fully conceived and become virtual. I believe that if 070 takes a while, the virtual quantity of the entire Hueco Mundo will definitely double or triple. Davy is starting to look forward to it. Without too many stops, Davy took the Esdes back to Christie Kingdom. Christie Kingdom, inside the king's hall. Davy appeared in the hall with Esdes, Xiao Nilu, Ram and Stark Grimjow. Sitting on the throne, Davy looked at the subordinates below, smiled slightly, and said, send the Virgil Admiral army to meet the king. Yes, your majesty the king. Outside the main hall, two burly and strong guards heard the words, and their spirits were immediately lifted. It is the voice of His Majesty the king. His Majesty has returned. The two guards turned from behind the door, bowed to Davy on one knee, and left. It's time to put Christie's kingdom up and down, after getting everything up and down the kingdom. It's a journey to the new world. First of all, canonize Esdes as the first admiral army of the kingdom, Marshal. Chapter 111 Commander-in-Chief of the Army, Esdes, second update, ask for automatic subscription. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Time flies, and soon Virgil's admiral army stepped into the king's hall. And when he came to the hall, the two rows of the huge hall were full of people. The first blade Stark of the Espada Legion, the second blade Baragan, the third blade Hannibal, the fourth blade Ulquiorra and the fifth, sixth, and third Espada are all present. Fifth blade's Mantis was also pulled from Hueco Mundo by Davy. In addition to the Espada Corps, the Night Raiders, Yun, Mayakushi Mars and many other summoned characters were all present. This made Virgil, who finally arrived, feel embarrassed for a while, and such a large group of powerful bigwigs was waiting for him alone. It's too embarrassing, he coughed awkwardly and stood at the back of the two rows. Although he also wanted to stand in the front row, with such a group of terrifying powerhouses, he was too embarrassed to do so. Just stand in front of the other ministers honestly. When you are old, you can no longer earn money, and you can only train and cultivate the army. Okay, since many important ministers and generals in the kingdom have arrived, let's talk about the next development of Christie Kingdom. 5. Seeing the presence of old Virgil, Davy glanced at everyone below and nodded slightly. First of all, the first thing is to develop the strength and number of soldiers in the army. This king wants to see an army of 300,000 within half a year. General Virgil, what is the average strength of Christie's soldiers now? Back to the king, there are now 150,000 soldiers in Christie's army. There are more than 250,000 soldiers stationed in the countries that rule and conquer. Among them, there are 50,000 soldiers in the army of Christie Kingdom who took the potion developed by the Potions Department Minister Mars. On the loot looted from Marine, on the Dow Strength test equipment, the average Dow Strength value of every soldier who took the strengthening potion was around 370. In the rest of our country's establishment, the soldiers who have not taken the strengthening potion also have an average Taoist value of about 150. After all, there was an incredible look in Fergal's eyes. Advertisement as a former naval headquarters colonel, can he not know what level this is? If the Dow force value reaches 500, it can be called a Superman. Breaking rocks with one punch can easily lift thousands of kilograms of heavy objects. Tear apart tigers and leopards, and can fight with giant beasts of more than 10 meters. With this kind of combat power, the army of Christie Kingdom is almost reaching it. Wait for Minister Mars's intermediate enhancement potion to be manufactured and mass-produced. If you give it to those 50,000 soldiers, I am afraid that you will be able to create a terrifying army with a Taoist value of over 1,000. Most of the world government's famous CP organizations are at this level. And in the future, the Kingdom of Christie will have hundreds of thousands of such terrifying soldiers. Just these superhuman soldiers, how can any country in this world be able to withstand it? Soldiers who have never taken potions have an average of 150 Tao strength. He didn't remember the strength of the army soldiers in his kingdom. Thinking back to the first kingdom special effects, Davy understands. Like a tiger special effects, physical plus 50, physical strength plus 50. Power is a tiger special effect. Every soldier in your kingdom will have a fierce momentum like a tiger, physique plus 50, stamina plus 50, close black lens bracket. A first level kingdom special effect has such a big improvement for these soldiers? It's actually a bit tough. It just so happened that the current Christie Kingdom has been promoted to a super level kingdom. Davy hasn't seen the new 2 special effects yet, so he hastily opened the 2 prompt messages. Ding! Your kingdom's national strength has exceeded 2,000 points, and it has been automatically promoted to a second level kingdom. Advertisement. Your Christie Kingdom gets special effects too, brave and fight. Fighting and fighting every soldier in your kingdom will become a brave and fighting warrior. Physical plus 80, mind plus 20, stamina plus 80. Ding! Your kingdom's national strength has exceeded 3,000 points, and it has been automatically promoted to a super level kingdom. Your Kingdom of Christie gets special effects 3, bloody battle. Blood fighting. Every soldier in your kingdom will have the tenacious will to fight in blood. Physical plus 100, vitality plus 100, physical plus 100, will plus 100, 35. Please continue to work hard to improve your kingdom level. The higher the level, the more advanced and powerful the kingdom's special effects you will get. 5. What the F asterisk K? So strong. Davy was stunned after watching these 2 new kingdom special effects. You must know that the data given to him by the Admiral Army of Virgil was more than a month ago. Conscription was stopped more than a month ago, and the whole army entered the training mode. Until now, there has not been a single test or military inspection. In other words, the current 150,000 army, the Tao strength value is likely to have broken 1,000? To know that 1 point of physical fitness is equivalent to 2 points of Taoism. 50 plus 80 plus 100 times twice equals 460 power values. In addition, the primary enhancement booster developed by Mars is more than double the enhancement boost. All at once, he has 50,000 supermen. The 50,000 soldiers who took the primary strengthening potion can soar from the original average of 370 to 1600. No, not right. Advertisement: the 50,000 soldiers who had an average Tao value of 150 before took the potion, and the average value became 370, plus 2 new special effects. Only add 360 Tao force value, the average is 730. Oh, miscalculation, almost forgot that the potion was taken a long time ago. It does not have the final Tao force value after strengthening the special effects 3 times. If he really wants that, then he will directly obtain 50,000 strong men with an average Taoist value of around 1500 in one wave. Davy's jaw was scrubbed in his hands, a little regretful. But even so, it's good enough. The 50,000 kingdom soldiers were released in one wave, without the use of high-end combat power. I can directly vomit blood to Zhao World Government and Naval Headquarters. It is equivalent to being an elite officer master of Naval Headquarters, and it is still as many as 50,000. Mars, working harder, tell the Minister of Finance what you want, and develop the intermediate potion as soon as possible. Davy looked down at the mage robe Mars and said, Yes, Your Majesty. Marston responded and decided to work harder to complete the formula materials for the intermediate potion as soon as possible. After giving orders to issue numerous orders, Davy said slowly, Finally, there is one more important thing this king has to announce. From now on, Esdes will be the commander-in-chief of the entire army of the Kingdom of Christie, serving as the first admiral army to rule the entire army. Chapter 112 Queen Haki, recognize the Great Skeleton, the third update, please subscribe automatically. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement the commander-in-chief of the entire army, the first admiral army. Has this day finally come? It's almost as expected, but a little faster than expected. Ever since King Davy kept recruiting these terrifying powerhouses from unknown sources, Virgil had anticipated what happened today. Now, one by one, a large number of strong men continued to emerge in Christie Kingdom. Resigning to let the virtuous is nothing but an established thing. Virgil did not have any dissatisfaction at all. Instead, he was suddenly relieved. After all, his strength was so weak, but his position was above the large group of strong people. The pressure was really too great. Although the Espada Legion is the legion directly under the king. Virgil Admiral Army, do you have any objection? Davy's expression was calm, but his aura was extremely majestic and domineering, showing his imperial temperament. I have no objection, His Majesty the King is wise. Virgil stepped out of the queue and said respectfully. When they heard Davy's announcement, all the summoned characters such as Espada and Ye below changed their faces, and their faces showed different colors. Among them, there are still some guys who are dissatisfied with the position of airborne marshal of Esdes. A mere woman can actually stand above their heads? And when the Knight Raiders saw Esdes, they were already frightened and dumbfounded. How did the queen become a subordinate of the king? Just don't be too outrageous, okay? Seeing the expressions of all the members of Ye, Esdes was satisfied with their expressions and smiled slightly. An inexplicable look flashed in his eyes. Esdes also did not expect that he would be able to see the Knight Raider and Azeta in this place. Interesting. Esdes's eyes showed a playful color and then quickly converged. She walked out of the queue with a solemn and majestic face, and stood in the center of the red carpet below the steps of the throne. From now on, my Esdes is the commander-in-chief of Christie Kingdom, the first admiral army, 35. If you have any objections, immediately propose that as long as your strength is better than this general, I will abdicate immediately and let the sages, 35. The cold and arrogant dominance of the Ice Queen was revealed, and an incomparably powerful terrifying aura also erupted, sweeping the entire hall. The icy and biting terrifying aura enveloped the audience, and everyone present except Davy was extremely shocked. Because this woman standing under the steps of the king's throne in front of her is too terrifying. Even Ulquiorra, Baragan and Stark, the 3-tier 6s, felt extremely strong pressure, which made them shudder. The strength of this woman in front of them far surpasses all of them. Advertisement its strength has reached an extremely terrifying level, and it is not an existence that they can deal with one-on-one. But if we really want to talk about it, among the three, perhaps the Skeleton King Baragan has the greatest opinion on Esdes. Stark's character just doesn't like fighting. Ulquiorra has no idea of taking advantage of his power. He will only obey the king's orders unconditionally and complete the task perfectly. And Baragan. Even if he is suppressed by the master, the king, he is loyal to Davy and will not have any opinions. But now a girl who is less than 100 years old is standing on his head. As the emperor who once ruled, Hueco Mundo, Baragan couldn't take it anymore. Only suddenly, Baragan was about to step out of the queue and stalled. There was no other reason, but because no one dared to refute him after releasing his aura, Esdes turned around and stepped onto the steps. He took Davy's hand lightly, and bowed his head for a kiss. Wait, I Esdes promise you, it won't take long, this world, I will definitely knock it down for you. Let you be the only emperor in this world. The words are full of passionate love for Davy, but also full of unquestionable domineering self-confidence. I've always believed you could do it, Esdes, 35. Backhand grabbed Esdes' fair hand, Davy responded with a smile. Esdes' heart skipped a beat as he watched Davy's domineering and dignified demeanor turn into a gentle smile for her. Suddenly there's a desperate urge to embrace Davy into his own snow-capped peak. Nope, Davy's smile is so cute, Esdes' heart beat faster, and he gasped for a moment. However, Esdes finally forcibly resisted this impulse. He also showed a gentle and beautiful smile to Davy. Princess? Forget it. Baragan stepped back a little, backing away from selling. He didn't want to be punished for cleaning the toilet anymore, and now the whole kingdom knew him from the 90-year-old man down to the 3-year-old child. If you go to clean the toilet again, your fame and face will be destroyed in one fell swoop. HMPH, the old man doesn't care about women. The meeting ended, and Davy dismissed everyone. A group of summoned characters got assigned orders and left one after another, and the ministers also left one after another. Advertisement Hannibal gave Davy a look before leaving and then left. She was going to catch up with the 3 subordinate sisters. Virgil was retained by Davy. In the king's hall, only Davy and Esdes were left, serving the Remlum sisters beside the throne. Oh, and little Nilu sitting on Davy's lap. General Virgil, in the future, you should assist the Esdes Admiral Army. Davy said to Fergal. Yes, King. Virgil saluted with his hand on his heart. Assist a future princess. He was also shocked by the terrifying and majestic aura of Esdes just now, knowing that the strength of this new Admiral Army was overwhelming. And also has a pro-MI relationship with Davy, which BIFD Gil is happy to do. It's just that what Davy took out next shocked him and made him look horrified. This is a book of knight training, General Virgil, you can help Esdes and train a night army at the same time. This book of night cultivation is very precious, don't lose it, the cultivator will have a very terrifying power. The highest one can cultivate to the 8th order realm, and the 5th order realm is equivalent to a marine admiral. Uncle Virgil, do you know what I mean? Davy pulled out a golden book from the system warehouse, printed with a picture of a golden knight riding a Pegasus. 8th tier items in the diamond level summoning pool. A legendary knight who can train up to the 8th level. This is the top combat power of another world, and the legendary knight of the 8th rank can directly pierce this pirate world. It can be called a devastating, moving natural disaster. It's just that in Davy's opinion, a sky knight who can cultivate to the 5th rank is very good. This is also the answer given by the system, the energy resources are insufficient, and a 6th order Templar cannot be accumulated. But if you take it out and let Virgil cultivate it, it is still very simple to mass-produce large-scale bronze knights and silver knights. Your Majesty, the old minister swears that he will not let you down. 35. Virgil never imagined that Davy would give him such a terrifying cultivation method. Moreover, I have also heard the so-called saying that the powerhouses are equal in order. Old Virgil's blood boiled when he said it. Because of this cultivation method, maybe he can cultivate too. Become the 5th order powerhouse, admiral level combat power, as the king's mouth calls it. Advertisement: who didn't become Marine's highest fighter before enlisting, what's Marine Admiral thinking? Retire, sir. Fergal happily took the baby and left. Davy tilde operator. When all the outsiders left, Esdes directly grabbed Nilu on Davy's thigh and threw it away, sat on his lap, and wrapped his arms around Davy's neck. Unable to hold back any longer, he spit pandan and kissed Davy directly. Here we go again. Here comes another powerful and domineering enemy. Beside him, Remram's cute eyes widened, and a pufferfish face puffed up. Davy, what do you mean by the tier state? After a while, the two separated. Esdes added a fragrant lip and showed a gentle and beautiful smile. Davy smiled and replied, it is the level of the world, and I summoned you from countless world dimensions. Esdes, your strength is the strength of the 6th order peak in the heavens and the world. Your rank is currently the highest in the entire Christie kingdom. Ulquiorra is the 6th rank beginner, Stark is the 6th rank intermediate, and Baragan is slightly weaker than Stark. 99. There is another point that Davy did not make clear, that is, the summoned characters summoned from these dimensions will slowly and automatically transform into the equal order realm of the world. Possess the ability of this realm in all realms, such as the 6th order flying and escaping the earth, the power of destroying the sky and destroying the earth. The 7th order can dominate the world, tear space, travel through the void, ignore distance obstacles, and instantly span thousands of miles. And 8th, 9th grade, 10th grade, not to outline one by one. That's it. After listening to Davy's explanation, Esdes was taken aback. Remram, who was beside him, heard it for the first time, and his face was surprised. This is for you, maybe it will help you. After thinking about it, Davy took out 10 pure soul crystals from the warehouse and gave them to Esdes. With this help to grow the power of the soul, strengthen the pure soul crystal of the soul body. Perhaps Esdes will soon be able to break into the 7th order and become the 7th order true king powerhouse in the world. Chapter 113 6th order Hellable, Fierce Fighting. The first update, please subscribe automatically. Previous chapter. Next chapter advertisement. Open black lens bracket. Pure and holy soul crystal. Close black lens bracket. Quality. Diamond effect. Soul supplement crystal. The quality of the soul of the eater will be improved, and it has the effect of shaping and repairing the soul. Introduction. This is a pure and holy soul crystallization from another world, a treasure that even gods are interested in. This thing is much more precious than the pure soul crystal core. With a systematic introduction, it can improve the quality of a person's soul. What are the benefits of improving one's soul quality? It is nothing more than improving the spirit, learning, willpower, spiritual soul resistance, etc. And there are some rank realms, the strength is up to standard, but if your soul is still too rough, you will always be stuck and unable to break through. And with these 10 pure and holy soul crystals, plus the power of Esdes' love for him, I believe that soon, Esdes will break through. Davy looked forward to it. The birth of the first 7th order true king powerhouse of Christie Kingdom. Esdes took the 10 soul crystals that Davy handed over. Exudes brilliance and has 3-color dazzling halo. The pure and holy soul crystal is the size of a coin, but it contains an extremely pure aura. Esdes solemnly clenched the crystal, and felt that Davy hugged Davy into the majestic pang. Dashafeng hugged him hard, and held Davy close. Davy, thank you. Esdes can see that these crystals are very useful to her. I am very touched and happy that Davy can give such a precious thing to himself. Looking at Davy's eyes as gentle as water, such a good Davy. She couldn't help but want to eat him. Advertisement. Because it is so cute, Esdes is very satisfied with Davy's attitude towards himself. It's decided, she's going to conquer Davy tonight. The Ice Queen thought to herself in her heart, you're welcome to me. After taking a hard bite of the iceberg snow lotus on the top of the mountain, Davy struggled out in the exclamation of Esdes' anger. The avalanche was so big that it almost buried him, and Davy exhaled with relief and contentment. Esdes, damn it. 35 Xiao Nilu, who was thrown away, was annoyed and ran back to bite Esdes' fair hand, but she didn't want to bite the ice slag directly. Woo, Davy. Esdes bullies me. Touching her broken teeth, Xiao Nilu's aggrieved eyes filled with tears, and she complained to Davy tearfully. Haha, okay, Xiao Nilu, I'll teach you a hard lesson for Ace Day tonight. Holding Xiao Nilu, Davy caressed her little head with a smile. After staying in the daughter country for a few days, the queen has been taught severely for a few days. Davy, whom Ace Day loves so much, naturally has to learn from Ace Day. With the strength of the 6th Order Intermediate Peak, fight against the 6th Order Peak Esdes. Davy's own realm has a solid foundation, and the realm level ultimate is suppressed and condensed, and he is confident. With his strength, he could beat Ace Day for 10 days and 10 nights without any problem. I just don't know if Ace Day physical strength can hold up. Not bad. Only by constantly discussing and communicating between high-level powerhouses, can rapid and effective progress be made to enhance their strength. Anyway, Ace Day had been looking forward to this kind of thing for a long time, and he couldn't wait. Night. Hannibal, who had not seen him for a long time, came to Davy's bedroom. I met Davy, who was guiding Remram's practice, advertisement. The two little maids finally got their wish and got the king's personal teaching and cultivation. Having followed Davy for so long, I get occasional training guidance from Davy from time to time. Now Ram's strength has also greatly improved, reaching the strength of the 3rd Order Intermediate Peak. And Ram, who has recovered the Ghost Horn, has the strength from the 3rd Order, which has not been fully recovered from the beginning, to the 5th Order Intermediate Peak strength. After earnestly training with the two sisters and instructing them, Davy will not continue, teaching the secrets or something, and let's talk about it when there's time in the future. After the battle of guiding the cultivation, adjust the breath to control the vain breath. Remram was exhausted, panting, and with a little red flush on her cute little face, she bowed slightly to Hannibal and left the bedroom. Only Hannibal and Davy were left. It's really just a practice guide, don't think about it. Sitting on the luxurious armchair, Davy pulled up his pants slightly to make himself more comfortable. Looking at Hannibal's half-smile, but also a somewhat cold and beautiful face, he asked without blushing. Hannibal, you are here, katakana middle dot for flowers. Master Davy has worked hard day and night, and there is still time to guide the headmaids in their practice, 35. Hannibal said flatly. There was a slightly different look in his eyes. She hadn't discussed with Davy for a long time. Why didn't Davy look for her the first time? Doesn't he know that although he looks calm and indifferent on the surface, he actually misses him a long time ago? Come here, long time no see, I miss Hannibal too. Davy beckoned. Hannibal stepped forward without any hesitation, and was embraced by Davy. Bowing his head to touch, Hannibal hummed, closed his eyes slightly, and responded to Davy. A moment later, silver threads rippled, and Hannibal's wheat-colored cheeks filled with blush. Advertisement 0.0, huh? I haven't seen you for so long, and your strength has actually broken through the 6th rank? Suddenly, Davy said in surprise. Open black lens bracket Tia Haribel close black lens bracket. Rank. Vasto Lord High Order Peak, 6th Order Beginner. Races. Void, Arankar Talents, Co-Devour Evolution, Waterfall, Water Control. Abilities. Wang Shu's Flash, Sero, Heiki, Controlling. Weapon. Zanpakudo Empress Comprehensive Evaluation. Another queen is born, maybe you can train her to become a Hueco Mundo, queen. After reading the panel properties, Davy clicked his tongue twice. Raising Hannibal to rule the Hueco Mundo, queen? This idea is really good, you can do it. Well, since the soul crystal cores you gave me last time, some of them have not been digested. After that, I fought with you again, and drank too many things. After the two complemented each other, they broke through after they were completely digested and absorbed. Hannibal explained all the explanations one by one, and his face turned even redder after speaking. And this effect? The king will test your current strength and help you consolidate your realm, 35. Davy was surprised, and then said with awe, and by the way, he used the summoning spirit link to tell Ace Day to stay away for the time being. Back to the blade. The terrifying battle of the 6th Order powerhouse is on. Chapter 114 Xiao Wu Yami sets off for New World, second update, ask for automatic subscription. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement time flies, and more than a month has passed. The big event Summit War that happened more than a month ago shocked the whole world, and news reports that shocked the whole world were published in newspapers. Summit War, Fire Fist Ace is the son of One Piece, Straw Hat Luffy is the son of the world's most dangerous criminal revolutionary leader Dragon. The world's strongest man, Whitebeard, dies, the real existence of the great treasure, Shichibukai Blackbeard rebels against Marine, absorbs the shock fruit ability, and becomes a double fruit person. Provocatively declared war on the man known as the Demon King, Davy, the king of Christie Kingdom, appeared on the Marineford Bay battlefield. Powerfully annihilate the entire Blackbeard group with one person, revealing his terrifying power. Redhead debuts. With so much big news involved in the battlefield, the people who run the newspaper are making crazy money. But none of this has anything to do with Davy. After 1 day and 2 nights of fighting, 070, with Hannibal, who had broken through the 6th Order, Hannibal couldn't hold on anymore, and he was completely suppressed by Davy. Occasionally Davy let the water out a few times, otherwise he would not be able to fight back at all. In the end, Davy taught the secret skills again and again. If he couldn't learn it once, he would be beaten with a stick. He studied for a day and 2 nights. Hannibal was dizzy all over, and after eating and drinking, he lay down in the palace for a day to recuperate before leaving. Davy's strength has become stronger again, and I have to work hard too. Otherwise, you will be suppressed and beaten every time, the feeling of being unable to fight back. Hannibal gritted his silver teeth secretly, and when he recalled it, he blushed a little, and became coquettish and angry. She showed a cute Oni-san attitude that was completely different from her previous calm and indifferent state. In the future, I have to practice hard, and in the future I can beat Davy hard. Hannibal's mind Davy didn't know, he was busy reviewing the army right now. Advertisement now that Christie's kingdom has grown, it's time to head out to the seas of the New World. New World's islands, natural materials and other aspects are much richer than the first half of the Grand Line. Davy naturally won't let New World go, nesting in the first half of the Grand Line. What's more, he still has the task of annihilating and conquering the 4 emperors. Davy decides to send out an army to take Whitebeard's turf first. He let go of the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates and continued to take charge of the site. Wasn't it just for the convenience of him when he took over in the future? In order to avoid the Whitebeard pirates' territory, they will be ruined by many powerful forces in the New World. So, Davy called Ulquiorra and Yami directly, Lord King. The two quickly came to the main hall, stood on the red carpet, and immediately knelt down to give a salute. No gift, Xiao Wu Yami. Davy nodded slightly. Yes, 9. Ulquiorra Yami immediately stood up and waited for Davy's order. They are very clear, it is estimated that there is a new task coming. Yami grinned. This time, the king must be shown his super ability to do things. Ulquiorra, do you know anything about New World in the second half of the Grand Line? Davy asked with Erlang's legs raised, his chin resting on the back of his hand. What do you know? I don't know what the king's lord has ordered. Ulquiorra nodded, having been in this world for so long. Basically, he has already mastered the information of this world, and he also knows all the public information on the Sea of New World. Where is the trash like Yami, either eating or cultivating frantically, like a brainless savage? Advertisement. Well, you and Yami will work together to lead a legion fleet to the New World. Destroy the remnants that conquered the 4 emperors Whitebeard, and then take control of Whitebeard's territory. I want that sea area to become the domain of Christie Kingdom, and no pirates are allowed to enter. Understand? Davy's majestic and domineering words resounded through the hall, and a terrifying and unparalleled kings might envelop the air. Ulquiorra and Yami nodded. Guaranteed to complete the task you have explained perfectly, Your Majesty. Ulquiorra and Yami respectfully said. Go ahead. Davy nodded. Bending down and bowing in salute, Ulquiorra turned and took Yami out of the hall. An hour later, Ulquiorra and Yami set out to sea with 10 large warships and 50,000 soldiers of the army. Among them, 20,000 are soldiers who have taken the strengthening potion, and the average Dao value has reached more than 700 superhumans. There are even 20 Jillian Manos Grande, 100,000 low-level cannon fodder, and 2,000 ghost ninjas. It's just that these Jillian Manos Grande, cannon fodder and ghost ninja are all waiting to go out in Hueco Mundo. After the New World, Whitebeard's territory will be released. A devastating blow to the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates. Presumably the world government wouldn't dare to stop them, right? It suddenly occurred to Davy that he hadn't given the order to let Ulquiorra and the others go underwater. With their strength, do they still need to go underwater, pass through the hole under the red line, and go to the New World? Isn't this funny? Whoever dares to stop it, if you are not afraid of death, then do it directly. Ulquiorra will definitely blow up the Holy Land, Marijoy. Hey, World Government 5 Elders, it depends on whether you dare to die. With a sneer, Davy took a sip of the warm black tea that Rem spit out with Pandan. Advertisement. Oh, yes, almost forgot about it. Suddenly, Davy slapped his forehead and suddenly remembered something. Princess Shirahoshi of the Fishman Island can't be spared. After all, these are the legendary 3 super ancient ultimate weapons. And a super cute mermaid princess. Thinking of Princess Shirahoshi's huge figure and cute baby face, Davy suddenly found a new world, and his eyes twinkled with strange light. Hannibal. 9 Immediately, Davy directly used the summoning spirit link network to summon Hannibal. After a while, Hannibal came to the king's hall with her 3 servant sisters. See Your Excellency the King. The 3 subordinate officers and sisters saw Davy sitting on the throne, and hurriedly knelt down to pay homage. 5.3. Hannibal, on the other hand, blushed slightly and nodded to Davy. You don't need to kneel down to salute Davy like a general summoner, an official. Get up, Mira Rhodes, Apache, and grandson. 99 Davy chuckled softly to the 3 of them. Yes, Lord King. Unsurprisingly, the 3 subordinate officers and sisters were conquered by Davy's smile, their hearts beating suddenly, their voices stuttered, and 2 red clouds hung on their beautiful faces. The power of charm plus 999, never let Davy down. Chapter 115 Shirahoshi, Ulquiorra passes red clay. The 3rd update. Ask for automatic subscription. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement. Seeing Hannibal nod to himself blushing, Davy smiled slightly. Seeing that the eyes of the 4 were watching him, Davy said slowly. I'm calling you here this time, because there is a task that needs to be performed by you. Before entering the New World, there is the existence of the Red Line, and 10,000 meters below the Red Line, there is a gap, and the Fishman Island is there. I need you to go to the Fishman Island and conquer it. Also, find Shirahoshi, the mermaid princess, Please notify me when the time comes, Hannibal. Do you understand? 39 Davy knew that Hannibal, like Ulquiorra, knew all about the world. So when he said these tasks, he didn't explain anything about Redline, diving 10,000 meters, the Fishman Island, etc. I believe Hannibal knows this, and Davy doesn't need to bother anymore. Conquering the Fishman Island and finding the mermaid princess Shirahoshi is one reason. Another reason is because the Fishman Island is also a country of power that the Whitebeard pirates have declared asylum. Of course, it's Whitebeard's territory, so Davy just picked up a little Shirahoshi and kept it. After all, Shirahoshi, as the three ancient weapons, Poseidon, its ability is quite terrifying. It is easy to attract supergiant sea kings of at least thousands of meters and tens of thousands of meters. Sea kings who have reached this level have high intelligence no less than human beings, and can communicate like human beings. The existence of this kind of 18 is undoubtedly a very terrifying thing for this world. Because they can easily set off a tsunami, they're just wandering natural disaster monsters. For this island world, it is the most terrifying disaster. However, if Davy came across it, he wouldn't mind grabbing one and keeping it as a pet. Davy, the bastard of three tails, didn't want to say anything. He was a pure waste, either eating or sleeping. Just let it roam in the Kanoma Sea. Clear. Hannibal nodded, and when she heard the mermaid princess Shirahoshi, a strange color flashed in her eyes, but she didn't say much. Nodding lightly to Davy, with a little nostalgia in his eyes, he turned around and left with the three subordinate officers and sisters. Lord King, let's say goodbye first. Hannibal, as Davy's woman, has the privilege of this nodding salute. Advertisement. The three subordinate officers didn't dare. They hurriedly saluted Davy and caught up with Hannibal. Oh, I'm really looking forward to it, Shirahoshi tilde operator. Whoosh, watching the back of Hannibal leaving, Davy took a sip of his black tea. I wonder if after conquering the Fishman Island and obtaining Poseidon Shirahoshi, will I suddenly complete the hidden mission? After all, Poseidon can be said to be the ultimate force in this world, and it is not an exaggeration. In this regard, Davy can't help but look forward to it. Remram, get ready, this king will conduct a random check on you after your special practice. King Sama, Ram was shocked and exclaimed tenderly. On the other side, the site of New World Whitebeard. Kaloma Island. This is a major site of the Whitebeard pirates, and it is also the island where the captains are now recuperating. A town on an island where all the pirates from the Whitebeard pirates force. In a certain room, Marco got up from the bed with a pale face. Marco, how are you? Seeing Marco get up from the hospital bed, Diamond Yoja quickly went up to support him. It's okay, it's almost recovered, Marco said to Diamond Yoja. That goddamn Grimjow has the means of attacking people's souls. If it wasn't for my phoenix fruit that could heal even the soul, he would have been beaten into such a tragic state, maybe he would have really died. The thought of Grimjow made Marco angry. If it wasn't for Grimjow's spoiler, maybe all of them would have rescued Ace and left Marineford safely and back in the New World. Damn Grimjow, damn Davy. Hearing this, many other captains and cadres in the room also became angry. If Grimjow hadn't killed so many of their captains and pirate officers, their disadvantage wouldn't be so great. If there is a chance, they will definitely not let Christie Kingdom go. No, Captain Marco, Captain Joe's, captains. Advertisement, the big thing is bad, there are several big pirate groups attacking us. At this moment, the door was pushed open, and a middle-aged pirate burst in with panic and fear, shouting in panic. Other big pirate forces? Damn. These scumbags must be after Father Whitebeard's death, they want to take the opportunity to compete for our territory. These goddamn bastards are a bunch of bastards. Do they think we're just clay dolls without Daddy Whitebeard? 35. Go. Annihilate all the enemies. As soon as the pirates who reported the letter came out, the captains and cadres present exploded with anger. Marco was burning with golden blue flames all over his body, and his face was full of anger. When they are gone, who is Whitebeard, a mouse that any cat or dog can provoke? A group of people broke through the door angrily, and then they fought with the 4 or 5 large pirate groups that had already landed. The screen shifted, and days passed. The 50,000 troops led by Ulquiorra and Yami, and 10 Christie Kingdom warships, slowly sailed towards the Red Line's customs clearance safety strait. When Christie Kingdom's red-bottomed Golden Dragon flag fleet appeared, the entire Red Line instantly sounded a whirring alarm. Ask for a monthly ticket for flowers. The flag of this country is now spread all over the world, and there is no country that does not recognize it. The army stationed at this safe gorge was instantly frightened and sounded the alarm. The tens of thousands of defenders stationed here in the entire Red Line are all on high alert. Cannons, pacifists flashing lasers, aimed at the slowly approaching Christie fleet. Garrison base. Sir, Christie Kingdom's fleet is approaching, is it attacking? A major ran up to an army vice-admiral and reported with a contact phone in his hand. The 8-meter giant sitting behind the desk was so shocked that he almost fell to the ground and took a sip of the big cigar in his hand. What did you say, Christie Kingdom's fleet? The garrison commander Vice-Admiral Theos was completely dumbfounded. The arrival of the fleet of Christie Kingdom was like a bolt from the blue. Do you know who is on the fleet? Who is in command? Sows hurriedly approached the little phone bug and asked in shock. Report, yes, 4th Espada, Ulquiorra. Advertisement, and 10th Espada Yami. In the phone bug, there was the screams of soldiers in panic. What? Ulquiorra. Theosten's eyes widened, the cigar dropped and landed on his crotch without knowing it. Ulquiorra. This existence is known as the first killer of gods and demons under Christie Kingdom. Definitely the most famous guy besides King Davy. 073 Double Admiral crushed, 1 killed and 1 seriously injured, destroyed an island, and slaughtered tens of thousands of kingdom troops and marines. Why did such a guy suddenly come here? Is he going to attack the Holy Land Marijoy? It should be impossible, after all, the other party has only 2 members of the Espada Corps. Contact. Call me Lord Five Elders immediately. Thinking of this, Saus was shocked into a cold sweat and hurriedly shouted at his subordinates. Blue blue blue. Holy Land Marijoy in a huge castle building. In the highest conference center, 5 old people sat around a small table. 5 elders, the bald-headed crescent beard with a scar on his forehead, gave a light, and picked up the phone bug on the desk. This phone bug usually doesn't call easily, and the other 4-5 elders have their eyes on them. Moses. Picking up the phone bug, the panic voice suppressed by Saus immediately came from the other side. Report, Lord Five Elders, this is the mouth of the New World Customs Clearance Strait. Just now, the fleet of the Kingdom of Christie, led by the 4th Espada Ulquiorra and the 10th Espada Yami, is about to arrive at the mouth of the strait. 5. I don't know the purpose of the other party at the moment, please 5 elders. 66. To the power of 99 hearing Ulquiorra's name, several of the 5 elders were refreshed and their faces became serious. Idiot, what are you panicking about? Ask them what their purpose is. Since you go to the strait over there, you must be entering the New World. Faced with this flustered Vice Admiral Commander, the bald-headed crescent who 5 elders scolded and reprimanded. Chapter 116 The Helplessness of the 5 Elders, Hannibal finds the Fishman Island, first. Previous chapter Next chapter advertisement passed through the strait. The siren continued. Theos came to the observation deck, looked at the Christie Kingdom fleet that was approaching below, and grunted. The fleet of the Kingdom of Christie. I am the garrison commander Theos here, do you want to clear the customs and enter the New World? The sound of the horns resounded throughout the sea, and they could clearly hear them several kilometers away from Ulquiorra. Go through Christie Kingdom, please open the gates quickly. On the main ship, a general of the king's army sneered, his voice like a thunderous roar, showing his domineering and arrogant look. Even under the watchful eye of the world government, there is no timidity. With a mighty kingdom leaning on his back, of course he dared to shout like that. And the words of General Christie Kingdom resounded throughout the sea area. It made Theos Vice Admiral on the observation deck above annoyed, but he did not dare to act recklessly. Who in the world does not know the terrifying power of Christie Kingdom? Didn't you see Naval Headquarters being honest after being beaten twice? Dare you say your power can rival Naval Headquarters? Otherwise, save yourself some money and don't provoke Christie Kingdom easily. I am afraid that even if I die, I don't know if there is a place to be buried. Soon, after it was determined that Christie Kingdom was going to enter the New World through the gorge, Theos hurriedly contacted the 5 elders again to explain the situation. In the highest meeting room, the 5 elders looked at each other. Unexpectedly, the fleet of the Kingdom of Christie is really going to the New World through this red line, so what is the purpose of the other party? Several 5 elders frowned, unable to think of any countermeasures for a while. There is some hesitation, in the end whether to let them pass, or directly take them down. But this time it was the Ulquiorra who led the fleet. A demon capable of fighting against 2 Marine Admiral level forces and crushing it 1-on-2 with a stubborn force is extremely terrifying, and I am afraid that it is not under the 5 of them. If Ulquiorra is to be taken down, at least 1 or 2 of them will be needed. 1 more person is needed to deal with the 10th Espada Yami. Or send some Vice Admiral and Admiral forces against him. It's just that the Admiral level combat power on the Holy Land Marijoy is not much, and there is only 1 alternate Admiral, Momosagi Vice Admiral who can take action. The only problem is that if the 5 elders all need to do it themselves, it would be a shame if this matter was exposed. As the world government that rules the world, the 5 elders, the supreme ruler of the world government, also need to do it himself. Advertisement, isn't this a sign of the weakness of the world government? How do the major forces in the world view world government? Humph. Let them pass. The bald old man with a pair of glasses and a sword snorted coldly. If that's the case, then there's no other way but to let the other party pass. Anyway, Christie's fleet went to New World, not to deal with them world government or marine. Then let them mess up. It is best to provoke them with more pirates who do not block their faces, and let the people of Christie Kingdom eliminate some pirates for them. And if they remembered correctly, before the Summit War ended, Davy had said that the 4 emperors would be dealt with later. The idea was figured out at once, and several 5 elders nodded in agreement. If they go all out to take down Ulquiorra and others, they will also provoke a crazy attack from Christie Kingdom. It's better to just follow the other party's wishes. Let go. 99 With the unanimous approval of the 5 elders, the old man with the phone bug said in a deep voice. Yes. After receiving the order to clear the customs, Vice Admiral of Theos was obviously greatly relieved. Fortunately, it is not an order to attack and block. Otherwise, Saus believes that with the strength of his garrison at the mouth of the strait, he will definitely be wiped out by the opponent. After all, this is Ulquiorra. Let go. With the sound of the horn of Saus, the entire strait moved on both sides. A huge gate slowly lifted and pulled up, revealing a broad navigation channel that ran through the entire red line to the New World waters. Christie Kingdom main ship, on deck. Yami showed disdain, spit out the toothpick between his teeth, very unhappy and regretful. Cut. I thought the world government was so powerful, but I didn't expect it to let us pass. It's really boring. I thought I would be able to make a scene here and go to New World. Lord Yami, now our kingdom of Christie has shown unparalleled strength under the wise rule of His Majesty the King. Even the world government wouldn't dare to provoke us lightly, and at the same time, it's also thanks to Lord Ulquiorra and Lord Yami. The kingdom general next to him interjected at the right time. Although he was also praising Davy's words and facts, the last sentence was a little tricky. Intentionally trying to please Ulquiorra and Yami. Advertisement, ha ha ha, of course. Hearing the compliment, Yami grinned and lifted his head proudly. 66.99 Ulquiorra glanced slightly sideways at the general, not wanting to say more. There are thousands of flatterers, but for Ulquiorra, it has no effect at all. Soon, the fleet sailed into the passage through the Red Line and headed for the waters of the New World. After an unknown time, Sows looked at the departing Christie Kingdom fleet, raised his hand and wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. Finally gone, 99 praised the 5 elders, what a wise command. What about the enemy? At this moment, a beautiful figure with a height of more than 2 meters appeared. The man wore Marine's white cloak of justice, with a long sword hanging from his waist, wearing a rose-red big V top, revealing a large snow-capped mountain scenery. The lower body is wearing shorts and high heels, and a spider is tattooed on the left thigh, leg. This person is the admiral candidate assigned to the Red Line, Vice Admiral Momosagi Taiyuan. Miss Momosagi. Seeing Momosagi's arrival, Theos was taken aback for a moment, and then he said, the fleet of the Kingdom of Christie has cleared the customs and is heading to the New World. What? Is it the fleet of Christie Kingdom? Momosagi stared. Suddenly thinking of something, he quickly asked, who led the fleet? It's Ulquiorra and Yami, 35 Sows explained honestly. It turned out to be him. Hearing this, Momosagi gritted his teeth, and put his jade hand on the top of the hilt, clenching it hard. Didn't that second-hand tea-pig die at the hands of Ulquiorra? Although Chabuda confessed to her 100 times, Momosagi refused ruthlessly every time. But the two have been friends for many years. Momosagi can't help but feel sorry for the other party's death. She wanted to catch up like this and capture Ulquiorra and the others. But the strength doesn't allow it. Momosagi doesn't think that his strength can surpass Chado and Kazaru. Damn it. Advertisement. Momosagi finally gritted her silver teeth and left angrily. I searched for months and couldn't find the lost underwear. I was tired of it, and now I have encountered the Christie fleet by mistake. How annoying. 66.99 Sows touched his head and watched Momosagi leave. Shaking his head, he began to command the garrison. On the other side, just after the fleet of Ulquiorra and others passed the Red Line and headed for the New World waters. A huge warship was more than 10 nautical miles away from the Red Line, and a powerful Ryotsu suddenly erupted from the ship. Then Ryotsu diffused and enveloped the entire warship, followed by a coating-like effect. Suddenly, he plunged into the sea and continued to dive and sail. La la la, is this the world under the sea? Oh what a big fish. I don't know what the taste will be like if I grab 1 or 2 and eat it. 55. Do you dare to go out? Aren't you afraid of being crushed to death by the pressure of the deep sea? Hey, with Ryotsu on the defensive, do you think the old lady is afraid of this? On the deck, several women, Zhao Hao, with different personalities looked at the underwater world and burst into cheers. During the period, there was also a few people's bickering. This warship is the warship of Christie Kingdom, and it is also the army led by Hannibal. Carry out Davy's orders and head to the undersea kingdom of the Fishmen Island under the Red Line. Conquer the kingdom and find Shirahoshi, the mermaid princess. Hannibal brought 3 subordinate officers and sisters this time, as well as 2,000 kingdom soldiers and 1,000 ghost ninjas. To rule and occupy a kingdom of the Fishmen Island, 2,000 king soldiers and 1,000 ghost ninjas are more than enough. If there are more, this large warship will not be able to carry so many people. And after I do not know how long I have been diving and sailing, I have solved many deep-sea sea kings. When a huge ball of light appeared in everyone's sight, Hannibal's cold face showed a beautiful smile. Here, the Fishmen Island, 35. Chapter 117. New Murloc Pirate Attack. Second update. Ask for automatic subscription. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The giant tree. Sun Tree Eve. Growing near the Fishmen Island transmits the sunlight on the ground to the Fishmen Island, and the Fishmen Island under the bright sunshine is like a paradise in a dream. A huge double-layer semicircular bubble film shield surrounds the entire island, and there is an air layer in the middle of the 2 layers of shields. The information about the Fishmen Island that he had read before came to Hannibal's mind. Wow, it's so beautiful, Tia-sama, it's a rare sight indeed. I heard that there are mermaids here. I'll see you soon. This is the first time someone sees your Manos Grande. Approaching the Fishmen Island, the 3 subordinate officers and sisters discussed again, looking at the huge bubble ball of the Fishmen Island, and looking forward to it. However, at this time, a kingdom soldier suddenly reported loudly. Lord Tia, there is an unknown creature approaching on the left side, and the speed is very fast. It's a sea monster, and a murloc riding a sea beast. Everyone. Alert. 6,699. Before the soldier's report was complete, the voices of several soldiers rang out. Hallible's eyes wrinkled, and in her exploratory nerves, dozens of life and soul breaths really appeared, and 073 was approaching them at high speed. Ahaha, is this a pirate? What a big ship, take them, capture more human slaves. Yes, for Lord Captain. The Comer is a member of the new Murloc Pirates of Murloc Street. Advertisement in the past few years, they have aggressively attacked the human pirates that traveled between them and arrested humans. The intention is to form an army of human slaves controlled by the fish people, and at that time, they will help the boss of the fish street, Hody, to overthrow the palace. Then board the throne of the kingdom of the Fishmen Island and build a new kingdom of fishmen. Avenge the damned humans on the land. Lord Tia, let me kill them, 99 Sun, who covered his mouth with his long water sleeves, said. The eyes are full of cold light, and the evil spirit is arrogant. They dared to stop them from completing the task that the king gave them. These ugly Murlocs are really courting death. No, you don't have to do it, I'll do it myself. However, Hallible shook his head slightly and refused Sun's invitation to fight. In my heart, for these fish people who dared to attack them, they have already sentenced them to death. BIFD. Dared to attack them under the sea? I'm afraid she doesn't know that the ocean is her home of Hallible? She is the queen of the king. What, Tia-sama, are you going to do it yourself? 35. Just leave this kind of trivial matter to us, Tia-sama. Yes, it is. Hearing that Hallible was going to take action in person, the three of them were stunned, and they all wanted to take it. It will be faster for me to do it myself. Hallible turned around and ignored the three subordinates. Broken Waterfall. 39 Advertisement. Hallible pulls out Zanpakuto, and there is no need for a return to the blade at all. Zanpakuto appeared Ryotsu, slashed with his sword, and a stream of Ryotsu rushed out of the wall covering, turning into several terrifying waterfalls and slaying the fish people. What? Run away. Dangerous. 35 A group of fish people riding on sea beasts turned pale in shock, and they hurriedly dodged while riding the sea beasts. However, the impact of these waterfalls was extremely fast, and they were automatically tracked and locked, hitting them all in an instant. One by one, the mermaids of the new Fishman pirate group were directly hit with broken bones, their internal organs were damaged and they vomited blood and died. In the blink of an eye, more than a dozen Murloc pirates riding sea beasts were all buried under the sea. Together with the sea beasts they were riding and the 100-meter sea kings being controlled, they all died. Now that he has broken into the 6th rank, and with the greatly enhanced soul power, Hallible can use the skills after returning to the blade without returning to the blade. Go ahead and enter the Fishmen Island from the secure entrance. After dealing with this group of new Murloc pirates who do not know whether to live or die, Hallible said indifferently. Yes. Tia-sama. The soldiers agreed one after another, and couldn't help but sigh in their hearts the powerful strength of the Espadas. Even the deep seabed below 10,000 meters can exert such a powerful force. After dealing with the new Fishmen pirates, Christie's warship soon followed the pirate ship in front and entered the safe entry channel of the Fishmen Island. After entering the channel, after a few minutes of travel, the warship emerged from the coastal port on the island, and the Ryotsu coating instantly dissipated. The sharp-eyed pirates in the harbor fell into contemplation when they saw Christie's flag. This flag seems a bit familiar, doesn't it seem to be the flag of the pirates? Taking a closer look, the eyes of the pirates gradually became horrified, the expressions of horror emerged, and the faces of the pirates all became fearful. K. The flag of the warship of the Kingdom of Christie. Advertisement? What? Ships of Christie Kingdom? Real or fake? You idiot, don't you even know the most famous flag of Christie's kingdom in the world today? Stupid. 35. At the harbor, there was a lot of discussion among the pirates. Some pirates ran away in panic, while others stood here with curious eyes, looking at the warships of Christie Kingdom. I am very curious as to who led the warship to the Fishmen Island, and what did it want to do? After all, every time the ships and fleets of Christie Kingdom appeared, which time did not set off a storm that swept the world. On the warship, the soldiers put down the landing board, and a large number of soldiers moved quickly, ran off the warship, and stood in 2 rows to form a passage. It's like a grand ceremony waiting to welcome the big man off the ship. In fact, the 4 of Hallible are indeed big figures, especially Hallible. The royal army all knew that this was one of the concubines of their own king. Hallible stepped down from the deck with the 3 subordinate sisters and stood on the harbor. Looking around, there were a lot of pirates parked. And Hallible could vaguely hear some voices. Occupy, Whitebeard is dead. This place belongs to the Shenfang pirates, the 4 emperors and... Wait, these chattering voices. Hallible frowned immediately. There is such a pirate group to snatch the possession of the Fishmen Island. Mira, Apache, and Sun even sneered again and again. It seems that a lot of people from the pirates are going to die today. If you dare to compete with their King Christie for territory, then kill them all. Chapter 118 Cracker is coming, Dragon Palace. The 3rd update, please subscribe automatically. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Fish Street. This is the zone where illegal groups gather. Now it has become the domain of Hody Jones, the captain of the new Murloc pirates. All the Murlocs of the outlaw group all belonged to the new Murloc pirates and became Hody's subordinates. Hody quit the military 8 years ago. The continuous arrest of pirates has attracted tens of thousands of Murlocs, with more than 20,000 Murlocs and more than 20,000 pirate slaves. The death of the 4 emperors Whitebeard caused the Fishmen Island to lose the protection of Whitebeard. Hody directly seized this opportunity and arrested a large number of pirates who approached the Fishmen Island. In addition, when he quit the king's army 8 years ago, he stole the national treasure passed down from generation to generation on the Fishman Island from the king's treasury, the legendary banned drug. Hody couldn't help but take advantage of the chaos to snatch this kingdom. He has tried the power of forbidden drugs many times, and the powerful explosive power has made him inflate his self-confidence. The few Murloc cadres he confidently possessed, together with an army of 50,000 people, were enough to take down the royal family. Just a while ago, Jinbei left the Fishmen Island, and there was one less obstacle. He took this opportunity to overthrow the royal family and take over the Fishmen Kingdom. However, even with Jinbei around, Hody is confident, relying on the forbidden drugs in his hand, to defeat Jinbei. Ha 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 ha, Neptune, wait for me, Murloc Kingdom, I've got it. Hody, who fantasized about the future, couldn't help but grow up in size. And the Murloc cadres and some Murloc scoundrels in the hall also agreed and laughed. Pung. No, Captain Hody, the fish people we sent to attack the pirate ship, were all killed. The door was slammed open, and a Murloc rushed in a panic, shouting anxiously with a long tongue out. What? Hody stood up suddenly, with a ferocious expression and fierce eyes. What on earth is it? Yes, it is like this. Soon, the Murloc who reported the message, Kai Shikai, was released. HMPH, a bunch of rubbish, can't beat each other after taking banned drugs? After listening to the whole process, Hody snorted coldly, and had no interest in listening anymore, just a bunch of rubbish. Advertisement: if he is dead, he will die. Anyway, he can recruit more Murlocs and capture more pirate slaves. He doesn't need to care about these weak Murlocs. Where are those people now? 35. But in the final analysis, these guys are also his subordinates. Since killing his subordinates is equivalent to provoking him. The strength should also be good, maybe he can be caught and become a pirate slave. Before I left, I saw them, over there by the harbor. The Murloc who reported the message stammered. There was a word that he didn't say. Those guys don't seem to be pirates, do they? He passed by Shali's cafe last time and heard some rumors. It's just that I can't recall it now. But forget it, since Boss Hody is going to go out in person, he doesn't say anything. The strength of Boss Hody is an invincible existence. In this kingdom of the Fishmen Island, there is an existence on the same level as the hero Jinbei, and even more than that. These fish people who were recovered by Hody are all unswervingly believed. It's just that they don't know that they are just a group of frogs under the sea. He didn't even know his Captain Hody, whose strength was only at the level of Vice Admiral of Naval Headquarters. And on the premise of taking a lot of banned drugs. And they will also pay a painful death price for their ignorant and fearless behavior. Follow me, I will catch them myself and act as powerful pirate slaves. Hody clenched his fist, crushed the teacup in his hand, and raised his arms. Oh, just like that, a large group of Murloc pirates followed Hody out. Head to the harbor location and wait to see Kamui, the captain of his own ship. On the other side, the harbor location. Another pirate ship entered the Fishmen Island and landed ashore. A tall man wearing a helmet decorated with tanned manes and biscuit-decorated horns on either side of the helmet. The body is dark brown and light-colored biscuit-style armor, with the BIS logo on the belt, and the beard is long and thin. Holding a long sword, wearing a cloak, and carrying a large biscuit shield on his back, he looks like a guy from a biscuit general, getting off the pirate ship. Behind him, a lion man in a pink suit and sunglasses followed. There is also a man wearing eggshells, also a pink suit with bamboo legs, a black mustache, and holding a cane, like a gentleman of the country. Advertisement: it's just that the legs are too long, and the upper body is a little fat, which looks very weird. And these three are the three generals of the Big Mom Pirates, Charlotte Cracker. With the fighters, Pokemus and Baron Ball. In addition, there are also a group of chess soldiers, all of whom are human warriors who use the soul fruit to give life to their souls. Is this the Fishmen Island that Whitebeard once sheltered? The scenery is really good. Baron Eggy took the hot tea above his head, took a sip, and said with admiration. HMPH, are we here to see the scenery today? Pokemus said speechlessly. Stop talking nonsense, find someone to lead the way. Hasn't Jinbei already contacted the royal family of the Murloc Kingdom? 55. Why didn't the king's army and the royal family of King Neptune come to meet us? Could it be that they regretted it? Are they playing tricks on our Big Mom pirates? Standing in the center, General Biscuit, Charlotte Cracker said with an ugly expression. He glanced around, and in addition to other pirate forces, they were the natives such as mermen and mermen. There are also scattered soldiers of the king's army guarding the harbor. In addition, there were no members of the Murloc royal family and ministers at all. This made him very unhappy, and his tone was full of dissatisfaction. He and others came to the Fishmen Island, but they were not greeted by the royal family. Feel very dissatisfied. Kawu, I'll contact them and ask what's going on. Why F2F? Pokemus took out the phone bug and prepared to contact Neptune and other royal family members. And it was at this moment that Baron Eggy was holding the hot tea in his hand, preparing to take another sip. Asterisk. That's the flag of the Kingdom of Christie? It's the ship of the Kingdom of Christie. Baron Eggy suddenly saw an unusual warship moored in the harbor. At the top of the observation deck on its main mast, there is a golden dragon flag wrapped in crimson. The same golden dragon pattern as that on several canvases made him immediately take off his sunglasses and look at it with shock. Gah! Eggy, what you said is true or false? Pokemus squeaked, looking in the direction of Baron Danden's exclamation. Ow! It really is. Like Baron Egg, Pokemus took off his sunglasses in shock, widened the eyes of the little black bean, and his face was full of astonishment. Oh, 99. The Cracker soldiers controlled by Cracker narrowed their eyes and looked at the warship of Christie Kingdom with an interested look. Advertisement Cracker is very interested in this kingdom that has caused world storms many times. He wanted to see what the people of Christie Kingdom came to the Fishman Island for. Could it be the same purpose they came here for? 0. Should it be a warship led by Espada members of the Espada Corps? Hopefully not the 4th Espada, or that mysterious Shinigami Skeleton King. After all, those two monsters, even Lingling, his mother, would be difficult to deal with. Not to mention yourself. Ow, it's connected, exclaimed Pokermus. What? In the Plaza de Geelong? To the Dragon Palace? 35. Damn, we'll be there soon. 35. Seeing that Pokemus had hung up the phone bug, Baron Danden asked, what's the matter? The members of the royal family of the Murloc Kingdom are in the palace of the Dragon Palace Castle, and the people of the Christie Kingdom are also there. The other party also wants to take this kingdom as a territory, Pokemus said with a somewhat ugly face. It really happened, and the Christie Kingdom really came with this purpose. What? Eggy Baron Cracker was suddenly startled, and Cracker couldn't help but start thinking. After a while, he said, Go to Dragon Palace. Yes, Lord Cracker. Pokemus and Baron Egg quickly followed Cracker with a group of chess soldiers. After inquiring about the fish people on the road, they quickly arrived at Dragon Palace City. Dragon Palace City, inside the king's hall. The huge Neptune stood in front of the huge king's throne, and did not dare to sit. Bending slightly, Neptune looked at Hannibal with respect and asked, Lord Tia, is your country really willing to lend your flag to us, the Fishman Island? 99. Neptune was originally going to join the forces of the 4 emperors and... Unexpectedly, a warship of Christie Kingdom suddenly appeared in the harbor. At that time, the 3 princes were surprised and contacted the father directly, so they respectfully invited Hannibal and others back to the Dragon Palace City. As for the ants people, they were forgotten for a while. Chapter 119. The agreement was signed. Cracker was suppressed. The first update, ask for automatic subscription. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Christie Kingdom. Isn't this much stronger than the Big Mom Pirates? Of course Nipton would not miss it, and immediately ordered the 3 princes to invite Hannibal and the others respectfully. That's right. Hannibal responded flatly. That's great. With your country's flag as shelter, our Fishman Island won't have to be attacked again. Neptune nodded hurriedly, becoming more respectful. Since the death of the 4 emperors Whitebeard, many big pirates have not sold Whitebeard's face, nor are they afraid of the deterrent power of the White Group. Whitebeard is dead, and only the remnants are left. Those pirates with a reward of hundreds of millions stood up, and pirates kept coming to the Fishman Island. If you want to conquer the Fishman Island, divide it into your own territory. That is, Jinbei rushed back to the Fishman Island sometime before 073, and repelled a large number of pirates. Because of Jinbei's powerful strength and Shichibukai status, he temporarily retreated. It is precisely because of this that after negotiating with King Neptune, Jinbei went to the New World to meet with the 4 emperors. On the condition that you join the Big Mom Pirate Group, let the ant give the flag to protect the Fishman Island. This is why Cracker and others came to the Fishman Island. It is because they came with an agreement to sign a formal asylum agreement with the Murloc Kingdom. Advertisement. However, because of the arrival of Christie's Espada members, he and others have forgotten each other. Thinking of this, Neptune's expression became a little embarrassed, and he said, It's just that we contacted the 4 emperors Big Mom before, and the other party came to sign a treaty with us today, and now. Refuse to sign a treaty, don't be afraid of death, just come to Christie Kingdom. 99. Hannibal was still cold, and when he heard the name of the 4 emperors Big Mom, there was no fluctuation in his eyes. Just the 4 emperors. Yes. Hearing this, Neptune couldn't help being shocked by the other party's aura and arrogance, and quickly replied yes. So good, with the assurance of the members of the Espada Corps from Christie Kingdom, Neptune was relieved. No matter how arrogant the 4 emperors' aunt is, there is still a strong man from the Espada Legion blocking her, so she is not afraid of the opponent's threat. Father, the phone number of the Big Mom Pirates. Suddenly, the great Prince Sharkstar came to Neptune's side and called Neptune a few times. What's going on? Neptune was startled. The Big Mom Pirates arrived. Cracker, one of the 3 generals of the Big Mom Pirates, is heading towards Ryugu Castle with 2 combatants and a group of soldiers. I have dispatched the soldiers to meet them on the way, and they will be here soon. Xiaoxing looked a little dignified and glanced at Hannibal and others. Trouble, crash. Sure enough, when Hannibal and others deliberately waited, 10 minutes later. Cracker and others, who were just slow to land on Christie's warship, were taken to the palace by the king's army. Advertisement, Neptune. Is this the case? Are you betraying your promise with our Big Mom Pirates and Mom? 39. If you can't give us a satisfactory answer. As soon as he entered the hall, Pokemus immediately questioned angrily. I plan to do a moral oppression first, making Neptune feel guilty and even more afraid of Ant's power. After Cracker entered the hall, he also stared directly at Neptune with a cold face, intending to put a lot of pressure on the other party. What to explain? What is a verbal agreement? Before Neptune could open his mouth to explain, the subordinate official Sun immediately spoke up. Look, what is this? Saying that, Sun took out a roll of paper from his long sleeves and spread it out vertically. While waiting for Cracker and others to come, Hannibal and King Neptune had already signed an agreement directly. It is written on the agreement document that the Fishman Island belongs to the Kingdom of Christie and is under the protection of the Kingdom of Christie. Submit a series of treaties for offering aquatic resources, special products, and building factories every month. As a condition, Christie Kingdom will send 5 Jillian Manos Grande and 2,000 Royal Army soldiers to settle in the Fishman Island to ensure the stability of the Fishman Island. This is one of the reasons why Neptune is very happy to sign the agreement. The other 4 emperors said it nicely, and designated the Fishman Island as a shelter, but in fact they just borrowed the other party's name to deter most of the pirates. In fact, there are still many pirates harassing the Fishman Island, and sometimes those tough newbie pirates encountered. Arrogant, the pirates who think they are invincible in the world are not afraid of the reputation of the 4 emperors, and the king's army will suffer heavy casualties at this time. If there is such a real military force as the Christie Kingdom, Neptune believes that the Murloc Kingdom will definitely be more stable than before. Advertisement, what, the agreement is signed, 55. Baron Dandin and Pokemus, who stared wide-eyed and took out a magnifying glass, were immediately dumbfounded. How could this numb Neptune move so fast with Christie Kingdom? Boyle. So, you the Fishman Island, the Fishman royal family are going to betray Jinbei's promise with our Big Mom pirates? Are you trying to go against us? Nipton. Do you know how terrifying the consequences of being humiliated and dishonest to a 4 emperors pirate group? 35. Shock. Cracker manipulated the biscuit soldiers, pushed Baron Eggy Pokemus away, and questioned Neptune with a gloomy expression. As he spoke, a terrifying shocking ability was activated, and Neptune instantly exploded with 5.3 chills from his tailbone. Presumptuous. 99. It was at this time that Hannibal's eyes wrinkled. He directly reprimanded and drank, and at the same time, a terrifying Ryotsu burst out, crushing the 3 crackers and covering them all. Kakaka. The terrifyingly heavy Ryotsu enveloped him, his soul trembled, and the 3 of Cracker fell into an ice cave, feeling that their souls were screaming in horror. And those chess soldiers' hormies were directly crushed by their souls, fell to the ground one by one, and lost their vitality. Damn it. Which Espada is this? What Espada? 39 Chapter 120 Angry Ant, second update. Ask for an automatic subscription. Next chapter advertisement is the most arrogant and strongest Cracker, he undoubtedly suffered the most terrifying and heaviest crushing. Even the shell of the biscuit soldier cracked under the pressure of this terrifying Ryotsu, and burst open in several places. It looked like it was about to burst completely, revealing Cracker himself. The Fishman Island has been placed under the control of the Kingdom of Christie. If you dare to be presumptuous, you will apologize with death. Looking at the 3 people under great pressure, Hannibal said indifferently. Just like what she had answered to Neptune before. It's just a 4 emperors' power, she didn't even say, let the Big Mom pirates provoke Christie Kingdom, provoke and create trouble. 4 emperors. Is it troublesome? It is best not to take the initiative to provoke Christie Kingdom, otherwise Davy will definitely attack them in advance and destroy each other. Hannibal knew Davy's goals well, and these so-called 4 emperors were just cancers that would be cleaned up sooner or later. If you don't take the initiative to cause trouble, you can live longer, on the contrary. This woman. Damn. Cracker's eyes flickered with murderous bloodthirsty light, clenching his teeth, and his eyes were full of anger. Lord Tia, please stop. Seeing the 3 crackers being ruthlessly crushed, Neptune secretly said that something was wrong. If the 2 sides really had a conflict, it would be a fire. Wouldn't the Fishman Island be out of luck then? Neptune hurriedly asked Hannibal. Hannibal glanced at him, didn't bother to pay attention to the 3 of the Big Mom pirates, and withdrew Ryotsu. Advertisement. This is the first warning. If he dares to continue to dare her, Hannibal doesn't mind sending some takeaway desserts for the deep-sea sea kings and sea beasts outside to eat. The terrifying pressure of Ryotsu disappeared, and the 3 crackers felt relieved, and immediately reacted. After regaining his immobilized body, his posture was like a pair of swords drawn. What now, Lord Cracker? Eggy Baron Pokemus and the 2 approached Cracker and asked with a sad look. Their purpose of coming here this time can no longer be accomplished. When they encounter Christie, this crazy and powerful and terrifying kingdom, they really can't do anything about it. If they go back like this, my mother may be furious, and they may even face danger to their lives. After all, my mother would readily agree to Hexia Jinbei's conditions, and part of the reason is that the desserts made by Jinbei with the Fishman Island are very, very delicious. Let Ant's eyes shine, and eat a very satisfying dessert. If you can't take the Fishman Island as the territory of the Big Mom pirates, let the Fishman Island make a lot of desserts for your mother. With the terrifying personality of the ant, she will definitely be very angry, and maybe she will enter that very terrifying mode. A mother in that state, but even her own children will directly extract the soul and devour them. Contact Mom. Cracker with a gloomy face didn't know how to decide for a while. After all, the opponent who competes for the territory is that terrifying kingdom. In his own words, he really dare not make up his mind to directly attack the people of Christie Kingdom. For no reason, he provoked a terrible enemy for his mother. If his mother knew, she would not let him go easily. It's just a sight, just grab a better one. Facing an opponent of the same size, no, even more terrifying than them, they would form a life and death feud because of a trivial matter. That would be so mindless. Advertisement. Whom does not see how many powerful forces, kingdoms, etc., the aunt married her daughter and joined her son's association. It is enough to see that the four emperors are still very smart, otherwise they would not have established a Toto land kingdom, marrying so many forces. Blue blue blue. Pokemus pulled out the phone bug and started contacting Charlotte Linlin. And Hannibal and others did not stop them, and let them use the phone bug to communicate. Only the king and princes of Neptune felt uneasy throughout the whole process, for fear that the Fishman Island would be involved in the vortex of war. Hey, Pokemus, what's the matter? Soon, the contact phone was connected, and the voice of the aunt's old aunt came. Mom, the mission failed. After we landed on the Fishman Island, the royal family members of the Fishman Kingdom have signed a treaty with the people of Christie Kingdom. The Murloc royal family, King Neptune has broken the promise between Jinbei and our Big Mom pirates. 66.99. As soon as the call was connected, Pokemus explained in a panic and fear. The phone worm was silent, and Pokemus could only hear the faint sound of water stains and low corrosion. Soon, the aunt's voice gradually appeared, followed by a panting roar. Where's Cracker? I want sweets, I want desserts. Where is Cracker? If he doesn't die, he will grab the site to my mother. I will make a reservation for the Fishman Island. Boom. The whole hall was in an uproar. Advertisement. All the kingdom members and soldiers in the hall were shocked. Hannibal lowered his eyes, and murderous aura grew. Behind her, Mira, Apache, and Sun all looked cold. Streams of Reiatsu emerged from them, hands on Zanpakuto. Mom. Wait, Mom. 077. The Baron Dandan panicked when he heard the words, and quickly snatched the phone bug from Pokemus' hand. Afraid that the aunt didn't hear clearly, she hurriedly explained and persuaded. Mom, this is from the kingdom of Christie, and he is also a member of the Espada Corps. The kingdom that repelled the naval headquarters twice, the Buster Call made the Marines flee, and the one that killed a Marine Admiral with one enemy and two, and killed a Marine Admiral and seriously wounded Kizaru Admiral. 35. 66.99 For fear that Auntie would not be able to remember Christie Kingdom for a while, Baron Eggy even gave an example. What does this have to do with my mother? I want dessert from the Fishman Island now. The Christie Kingdom is 108,000 miles away from the New World, and the power is even more in the first half of the Grand Line. If they want to fight, let's fight. Ant's incomparably furious roar resounded from the phone bug's side, revealing her arrogant aura. As the four emperors, Auntie is not in vain at all. Since it is an island kingdom that she likes, if you can't get them and eat delicious desserts, then all will be destroyed. Chapter 121 Battle. Cracker is second. The third update, ask for automatic subscription. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement quiet. The entire palace hall fell into a dead silence again, and the needle drop could be heard. The aunt's angry roar resounded, and everyone fell silent. The three subordinate sisters have slowly exited Zanpakuto with extremely bad expressions. Hannibal looked indifferently and looked at the three people in front of him quietly. This Lord Cracker. Eggy Bear and Pokemus swallowed their saliva and looked nervously at Cracker's biscuit soldiers, and then looked at the posture of Hannibal and others at this time. Those who insult the Big Mom pirates are unforgivable. Kill. After receiving the attack order from Aunt Linlin, Cracker grinned, no longer hesitated, and drew his long sword directly. Roll pretzel. The biscuit soldier roared. His movements were extremely fast, and he stabbed out with a long sword in hand, only to see the long sword spiraling, forming a terrifying shot of sword energy. It was Hannibal who was directly attacked and killed. Cracker intends to take down this Espada member directly, and the other three women are obviously subordinates of this indifferent, powerful woman. Catch the thief first, catch the king. Cracker's abrupt action made all the royal family members pale in shock. They didn't expect that Cracker's action would be so decisive and neat. However, in the face of Cracker's raid, Hannibal wrinkled his eyes and swung out. Immediately, the terrifying Reiatsu wind swept across, and the terrifying Reiatsu swept through the wind pressure. Cracker immediately looked embarrassed, and some unbelievable flew away. Hurricane Reiatsu hit, the floor burst inch by inch, and a terrifying burst of force slammed into Cracker's cookie soldiers. Advertisement. Even if he used two shields to resist, he was still hit and exploded, and the biscuit soldiers were directly smashed. Cracker made a puff and flew out violently, landing heavily on the floor and slipping for dozens of meters. With just one blow, Cracker was directly broken through the extremely hard cookie soldier shell, revealing his true body. Moreover, the hard as iron shell of the biscuit soldier was shattered, and even the shell of the biscuit soldier could not withstand this terrifying force. Damn it! How can it be so strong? Climbing up from the ground, Cracker wiped the blood from the horns. Baron Eggy and Pokemus were also shocked. They just flapped their arms and slapped them out, and they knocked Cracker out of their real body? It has been so many years. The Cracker soldier shell, which Mr. Cracker has not broken for many years, was easily broken by the other party. Whatever Espada you are, go to hell, pop, pop. Cracker clapped his hands again and smiled. With his clapping, the biscuit fruit ability was activated, and countless hard biscuits appeared in the air, and then merged and transformed into tall biscuit soldiers. One-man army. That's the scary thing about Cracker's cookie fruit. Ordinary cookies can be played to new heights by him and become powerful cookie soldiers. With his own power alone, he can easily conquer a powerful kingdom and defeat all armies. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of cookie soldiers appeared on the field. Ask for a flower review ticket. Aware of Hallibal's great strength, perhaps above himself, Cracker decides to go all out to quickly deal with the enemy. It's really courting death. How dare you do something to Lord Tia? Advertisement, stupid people, it's going to be a terrible death. Mira, Apache, and Sun sneered, looking at the two strange races in front of them. Draw the sword Zanpakuto, and start the crushing attack on Pokemus and Baron Dandan. Although the three subordinate officers are relatively weak in Ajukas, they are now very powerful after being transformed by Ronkar. It is a little bit stronger than the powerful vice captain. If the three of them break their arms and join forces to summon the monster, Tooth Wang, they can easily defeat several vice captains. In the end, Captain Yamamoto made his own hands to kill Yawang. In the face of the siege of these three women, Baron Eggy and Pokemus couldn't tell how hard it was. Ha ha ha, how are you, with so many biscuit soldiers, can you solve it easily? Hundreds of biscuit soldiers were summoned all at once, and Cracker, whose safety had been greatly guaranteed, laughed wildly. With so many biscuit soldiers, even an ordinary pirate with a reward of 500 million to 600 million can only be besieged to death by consumption. It's just a woman, Cracker can't believe it, she can still be as strong as just now. 6,699 Hallibal silently pulled out Zanpakuto, raised the king shark in his hand, and aimed at Cracker's biscuit soldiers. Give it to me. Kill her. Facing Hallibal's Zanpakuto, Cracker felt a terrifying sense of life and death in his heart. He hurriedly shouted and commanded hundreds of biscuit soldiers to charge, and he himself followed the army. When the biscuit soldiers attacked and surrounded Hallibal, he rushed up and chopped twice from time to time. This is also the trick that Cracker has always used to fight against enemies and to deal with stronger enemies than himself. Advertisement dirty, but he's a pirate, as long as the opponent can be killed in the end. As for the method, does it matter? Broken waterfall. Looking at the oncoming army of biscuit soldiers, and Cracker with a grinning face behind him. Hallibal showed a rare sneer of disdain, and his sexy lips parted lightly. The terrifying Ryotsu suddenly spewed out, and she suddenly slashed Zanpakuto, and a powerful current appeared, pouring down from the sky like a broken waterfall. The terrifying waterfall impact swept through, instantly burying and scouring the army of biscuit soldiers. Hundreds of biscuit soldiers shattered and softened under this terrible waterfall waterstorm. What? Cracker turned pale in shock. This F*K is actually a person who restrained his water ability. Cracker immediately felt that he was about to split. And it is really about to crack. The terrifying water pressure scours and crushes, smashing his internal organs into an unstoppable spit and a mouthful of blood sprays. The wall of the palace hall was smashed by the water pressure and burst open, but in the end it was Cracker's biscuit soldiers and Cracker himself who took the main force. The wall was barely holding on, and it just shot out small water jets. Cough, puff. The long sword plunged into the floor. Cracker endured the injury in his body, coughed up a few mouthfuls of blood and stood up. With madness and horror in his eyes, he asked in a hoarse voice. You, how many Espada husbands are you in the Espada Legion? Chapter 122 Crush. Cracker is dead. Fourth more. Ask for automatic subscription. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement. No wonder Cracker didn't ask that. Your special girl can kill me every time you make a shot, but if Kaido of the Beasts comes, you have to ask this question. This is really outrageous. After all, he is also the Biscuit Minister, one of the top officials of the Four Emperors Pirates. Even Marine Admiral is not cowardly, he can still play dozens of tricks with the opponent. As a result, I have no resistance at all against this blonde woman, no matter who comes. I can't stand such a crushing blow. The third Espada of the Espada Corps, Tia Hallibal. Facing Cracker's question, Hallibal said indifferently. Judging from the fact that the opponent's strength was acceptable and he was already on his death list, Hallibal didn't mind telling the opponent his Espada number. Third Espada. As soon as these words came out, whether it was the members of the Neptune royal family or Cracker and others, they were all shocked and horrified. Only those Murloc guards who didn't know much about the situation at sea were dumbfounded. After all, they don't know much. The third Espada? Baron Dandan and Pokemus, who had been severely beaten and defeated by Myra's three subordinate sisters, were petrified. What a joke. The 077 blonde powerful women in front of me turned out to be the top 3 of the Christie Kingdom Espada Corps? Third Espada? Advertisement. No wonder this woman is so scary. Cracker swallowed. He vaguely remembered that the 4th Espada's Ulquiorra could crush the Double Admiral's combat power 1 volt 2. And now, he is actually facing a 1v1 Espada ranked 3rd? Cracker's hand holding the pretzel sword trembled slightly, and his teeth clapped up and down. Wait. I am the son of 4 Emperors Charlotte Lingling, the highest official of the Big Mom Pirates. You can't kill me, let me go. This time, the Fishman Island will be handed over to you. After I go back, I will explain it to my mother. Why don't we stop this matter? 99. Facing such a terrifying powerhouse, Cracker would not think that he really had the strength to survive under the opponent's hands. So at this time begging for mercy and negotiating is very necessary. Dignity or something, it is only useful to live to save his life. He should choose to be a grandson first, and then return to the Kingdom of Torrent to talk about dignity. As for whether he will be punished by his mother's death after returning, Cracker feels that he should be able to fight for a chance. After all, no matter what, he is also one of the strongest combat powers of the Big Mom pirates, so he won't be judged by his mother because of this, right? Sorry, the opportunity has already been given to you. If you don't cherish it yourself, you can't blame others. However, in the face of Cracker's begging for mercy, Hannibal did not waver in the slightest. From the very beginning, she had already given the opponent a chance, and even when she attacked him for the first time, it was a warning. But Cracker didn't cherish the chance to take a chance in that case. Hannibal won't be merciful anymore, no matter what your identity or power is. Dare to block the way forward in Christie Kingdom, then all disappear. Advertisement, damn it, it's not that easy to kill me. Seeing that Hannibal was determined not to let him go, he wanted to kill him. Cracker is naturally not a person who sits and waits for death. Since he can't beat the enemy, even if he dies, he will give the opponent a little color. Cookie soldiers. This time, Cracker had a grim face, fully activated his fruit ability, and he created a large number of biscuit soldiers. At a glance, there are hundreds of biscuit soldiers. The entire huge palace hall was almost full. It's not enough, Fusion, General Biscuit. Kill her. Countless biscuit soldiers merged to become more powerful biscuit generals. Dozens of biscuit generals, BIFD, led more than 200 biscuit soldiers to kill Hannibal. After doing all this, Cracker turned and ran without hesitation. Ah, Lord Cracker, we're still here. Lord Cracker, don't leave us. Seeing Cracker running away, Dandan Baron Pokemus was once again dumbfounded and hurriedly called out for help. Hearing the cries for help from the two subordinates, Cracker immediately smeared oil on the soles of his feet and ran faster. What a joke, this is his strongest ability to use up almost all of his stamina, and the remaining stamina is enough for him to escape from here. If you don't run now, do you want to stay and watch his biscuit soldier generals get smashed by each other, and then run away? Can you run away? Indifferently speaking, Hannibal held up Zanpakuto. Advertisement, breaking the waterfall. A high-pitched sassy voice sounded, Ryotsu emerged and gathered on Zanpakuto, and Hannibal waved Zanpakuto in his hand. Bang! The terrifying scorching ocean current crashed down from the dome of the main hall, and all the biscuit soldiers and biscuit generals who came forward smashed their foam under the impact of this terrifying ocean current. The entire Dragon Palace city rumbled and trembled under the influence of this terrifying force, and it began to vibrate like an earthquake under the sea. After annihilating all the generals of the biscuit soldiers, the power of the current did not diminish, and it rushed towards Cracker, who was about to escape from the palace gate. Under Cracker's terrified look back, Cracker let out a scream, but the sea current poured into his mouth, and the terrifying impact force erupted. Cracker's internal organs were directly injured by the impact force, his body burst apart, and the unbearable pain swept his whole body. Cracker rolled his eyes and lost consciousness. But soon, he was continuously impacted in the hot ocean current, and finally completely lost his breath. Boom! Under Hannibal's precise control, the gate wall of the main hall was smashed, further destroying a lot of internal buildings. However, this level of damage is not a big problem. If Hannibal hadn't suppressed the power, the entire Dragon Palace city would have been destroyed by most of it. Dead, Lord Cracker, dead. The sea current dissipated, looking at the dilapidated mess of the palace hall, and felt the breathless Cracker lying in the rubble. Eggy Baron Pokemus took a deep breath. Things, big deal. All right now, the four Emperor's Big Mom pirates are really going to have a fight with the Kingdom of Christie. Chapter 123 Nafe Shirahoshi? First update, ask for automatic subscription. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement. The battle was over and everything was calm. But other people's hearts are not at peace. A top cadre of the four Emperor's pirates, and the biological son of the four Emperors died here. Neptune's whole body was numb and his mind was swollen. Royals and ministers too, not much better. This time, I really offended by G-Mom. It was originally agreed to sign an agreement to receive the messenger at the harbor, but they ended up in a gridlock. Now their own son has come to be the messenger, and Christie's Espada has been slaughtered. This F***K. The Fishman Island is a ghost if you don't defend Auntie. Oh, as expected, Apache sneered, raised his foot and smashed Baron Eggy's balls. Cough cough. P.S. His grandmother's name is always added randomly on the encyclopedia, causing the little author to write the wrong names for the three sisters. As expected of Lord Hannibal, he solved the enemy without even needing to return to the blade. Mira and Son nodded in agreement. Lord Hannibal, it's quite normal to have such strength. And they found that the current Tia-sama is several times stronger than before. All thanks to the king. The three sisters blushed slightly, and when they thought of this man, their hearts could not help but have ripples of feelings that little girls should have. Don't worry about the Balan Baron and Pokermus who were trampled under their feet. Kicked out one by one, the three sisters came to Hannibal's side. Ah, Tia-sama. At this time, Neptune was really about to cry. It's too hard to end this F***K. Don't worry, the matter of the Big Mom pirates, Christie Kingdom will solve it, just do the things in your agreement. Seeing the worries of the huge mermaid king, Hannibal said in a flat tone. Advertisement with a gesture that didn't take the Big Mom pirates seriously at all, Neptune and the royal family couldn't help but calm down. Yes, with Christie's Kingdom in front, it should be fine. Thank you Tia-sama, thank you Christie Kingdom and the king, 35. Involuntarily, Neptune took the lead, and all the members of the Murloc royal family were grateful to Davy. Besides dividing the Fishmen Island into the territory of Christie Kingdom, King Davy also told me another thing. The agreement has been signed and the enemy has been resolved. Hannibal suddenly said slowly. Oh, what's the matter? Is there anything the old man can help? Got a chance to perform? Neptune asked with a smile. Just prepared to be generous and actively complete the troublesome things of the other party, so as to gain a good impression of the other party. However, what Hannibal said next made him, along with the entire royal family and ministers, froze. The other thing is that the king has taken a fancy to Shirahoshi, the mermaid princess of your country. As soon as these words came out, the entire hall was in an uproar. Everyone was stunned, their mouths widened, and they looked at Hannibal in astonishment. Shirahoshi, Princess Shirahoshi? Spotted by King Christie? What are you kidding? Has the rumored king ever met their Princess Shirahoshi? More importantly, if they remember correctly, Princess Shirahoshi seems to be only 14 years old. Neptune's face was embarrassed, and he really didn't know how to respond to Hannibal. My own daughter is only 14 years old now, how could the other party take a fancy to her precious daughter? Advertisement. In fact, Neptune knew that Hannibal must have something to say later, but the words have come to an end, and there is no need to say anything more. This is already very obvious, the other party wants to take Shirahoshi as a concubine, so now he dispatches his subordinates and wants to meet Shirahoshi first. Father. The three princes looked at their father nervously and sadly. Although the legendary king is indeed very powerful and terrifying, he just married his own treasure to him. They are also a little unacceptable in their hearts. Neptune frowned and thought heavily, ignoring his three sons. Hannibal didn't say much, but watched quietly, waiting for an answer. The three subordinate sisters were a little unhappy. What the hell? The great king of his own family will hesitate for a long time when he sees one of your mermaid princesses. Despise their king, his majesty. But the eldest sister, Tia, didn't say a word, and they were not good at squirting, so they could only look at Neptune and the others with bad expressions. Okay, the old man will take Lord Tia to see the little girl. Ask for flowers in the end, Neptune sighed inwardly. Thinking of the situation of the Fishmen Island and the Dragon Palace Kingdom, Neptune chose to agree. If there is the protection of that demon king, perhaps this country really has hope and will go to the land. Really live in the sunshine, and live on an equal footing with human beings. Marriage is necessary. If you become that one's concubine, surely your precious daughter Shirahoshi will also be able to get enough happiness and safety? However, the corner of King Neptune's mouth twitched a few times. Advertisement. Although his baby girl Shirahoshi is mature in some ways. But anyway, it will take another year or two. After all, in this world, most races are generally considered adults at the age of 16. Shirahoshi seems to be 15 years old this year. Come with this old man. Neptune cleaned up his indescribable mood, turned his head and said to Minister Zuo. Minister Zuo, send someone to repair the palace, and deal with the messengers of the Big Mom pirates. Yes, King. A small top hat, wearing a single gold chain spectacles, the catfish minister respects the order. After explaining the matter, Neptune personally took Hannibal and others out of here and went to the hard shell tower. Leave Mila alone to watch the unconscious Baron Ball and Pokemus. And in the new world, Whitebeard's territory, after several days of sailing, the 10-warship fleet of Christie Kingdom finally arrived at the sea area occupied by Whitebeard. In just half a day, Christie's army captured the 4 island towns outside Whitebeard. Its rapid speed, when the news reached the ears of Marco's cadres, they have lost 3 more island sites. When Marco heard the news, he was instantly furious. Damn Christie Kingdom, it actually attacked us. In the face of such a violent invasion war, Marco and other captains were naturally angry. Pirates are pirates, and they will not suppress their own power at all. Armed with a large number of cadres, they headed towards Ulquiorra in a majestic and arrogant manner. War is coming. Chapter 124 Yami. I want to hit 10, second update, ask for automatic subscription. Previous chapter. Next chapter advertisement in a huge island town. The soldiers in black armor held high the banner of the Golden Dragon on a red background, and roared and launched a charging horn. The tens of meters tall Jillian Manos Grande landed, thousands of low-level cannon fodder roared, and a large number of ghost ninjas activated their giant ability, swallowing the shadow of the pirates, and became even more terrifying. Christie's army fought against the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates, attracting the attention of the surrounding forces. As early as when the Christie Kingdom fleet entered the New World, some forces noticed it, and they were still trailing all the way. Although Yami cleaned up a lot in the middle, there were still people who didn't know what to do from afar, and Yami didn't bother to care about them. Follow along with love, anyway, as long as you dare to approach, it will be destroyed. The purpose of their trip was Whitebeard's territory. They first eliminated the 80s of the Whitebeard pirates' remnants, occupying the territory, and then went to take care of those who didn't know who lived or died. And now, the large army they led is the second largest island town besides the base camp of the Whitebeard pirates. It is also the most important line of defense. You must know that every soldier in the establishment who has not taken potion enhancement, and after the 50 plus 80 plus 100 physique blessing of the kingdom's special effects, the Taoist value directly reaches the range of 460 to 480. 30,000 are generally more than 400 superhuman soldiers with a strength value of nearly 500 Tao, plus 20,000 terrible soldiers with an average strength value of more than 700 Tao. The combat power caused by it is no trivial matter, and the pirates who encounter it have the most say. A person is about to be besieged by several soldiers, as well as ghost ninjas and cannon fodders. This is simply a dimensionality reduction blow. Anyway, at the beginning of the war, the number of pirates in the 100 regiments dropped rapidly, and they were directly crushed by the Kingdom of Christie. 20 jillion Manos Grandes, 100,000 low-level ghosts, 50,000 soldiers and 2,000 ghost ninjas. This terrifying legion force, the Whitebeard pirates will take the lead. Every squad leader has to deal with jillion Manos Grande level. Advertisement, not to mention the ghost ninjas who devoured the shadows of the pirates, watching those ghost ninjas who became more powerful and terrifying after swallowing the shadows. The pirates in the 100 regiments swallowed their saliva in panic. There are also those powerful phantoms and giant phantoms mixed in low-level phantoms. The entire battlefield is full of slaughter of the Whitebeard pirates by the Christie Kingdom Legion. Phoenix Seal Leone. In the sky, several giant claw shockwaves burning with golden blue flames crashed down, directly killing a jillion Manos Grande and annihilating dozens of cannon fodder. Accompanied by a bird's cry, Marco, the firebird burning with golden blue flames, powerfully killed jillion Manos Grande and appeared. Following him, the rest of the squad leaders and cadres joined the battle forcefully one after another, temporarily stabilizing the 100 Regiments alliance that was about to be crushed and collapsed. The squad leaders and cadres below the middle level were also relieved when they saw the arrival of the powerful captains. However, he immediately brought up his heart again, with a look of fear on his face. Because, standing on the tallest building, Ulquiorra, who was silent, spoke up at this moment. "Are all the Whitebeard pirates here? Very good, it saves us having to waste time and distract our efforts to capture." 99. On the roof dozens of meters high, Ulquiorra spoke indifferently. Watching the arrival of the island battlefield, the powerful captains headed by Marco. The indifferent words were full of contempt, as if a nest of ants had finally arrived home, and they could be easily killed by pouring oil into a fire. "Everyone, break through." The moment Marco saw Ulquiorra, his body shuddered. Advertisement, the order to give an all-out attack turned directly into a breakout. Legion led by Ulquiorra himself. It was this monster. This is the 4th Espada. On the battlefield of the Summit War, he and the former Shichibukai crocodile teamed up against Grimjow of the 6th Espada. The results of it. If it wasn't for the father who rescued him at a critical moment and played most of the power of the attack for him, I am afraid that his whole person would be swallowed and annihilated by it. And now, Ulquiorra of the 4th Espada actually led the team. There is even a 10th Espada, who is a powerhouse comparable to Admiral. In addition to the army of tens of thousands of terrorists, Marco's forehead oozes cold sweat. He was a little lost. An army of hundreds of thousands, surrounded by a pirate army of 10 to 20,000 people, could win. Escape. Explode all your strength and break out of the siege. The other team captains also changed their expressions, and their eyes were shocked. Kill. I will open the way for you. Diamond Yoja gave a loud shout, inciting the terrible power all over his body. 99% of his body turned into diamonds. His hands crossed into the ground. A huge 300-meter terrifying rock was lifted up, like a falling meteorite, and smashed hard at Christie's army who was blocking the front. Go. Hey. The little tricks of the worms are still too bad in front of your Uncle Yami. The burly and tall Yami sneered and walked out of the way the soldiers let out the cannon fodder. Advertisement, a Ryotsu gushed out, and the terrifying Ryotsu gathered, followed by a loud shout from Yami. Virtual bullet. Originally wanted to use Sero, but considering that it might not be possible to destroy all of it, Yami directly fired dozens of phantoms. The phantom shot soared, and the scarlet phantom reflected the sky red, wrapped in a terrifying temperature airflow, and collided with a 300-meter giant rock. Shish. Boom. Boom. Rumble. The next moment, a violent explosion roared through the battlefield. The violent Ryotsu storm swept across the 4 directions, and the terrifying aftermath spread. Dozens of virtual bullets annihilated the giant rock. The terrifying wind pressure and airflow swayed and spread, and the sea outside the island was affected, forming layers of waves that rolled into the distance, setting off bursts of tsunamis. 5.3 For a time, the major pirate groups who were hiding in the distance and watching, the major forces were dumbfounded. Some weak ones were directly affected by the tsunami and were buried in the sea. On the island, the giant rock was smashed and annihilated by the virtual bullet, but some fragments were still turned into meteorite fragments, burning with flames and falling down. The pirates in the white group screamed and ran away, and the remaining virtual bullets fell, and the roar of explosions continued. In just the confrontation between the two of them, the pirates of the white group suffered heavy losses. The faces of Marco's strongest captains were extremely ugly. Weak, too weak. Yami, want to hit 10? Chapter 125 The White Tuan crushed by blood abuse. The third update. Please subscribe automatically. Previous chapter. Next chapter advertisement. Crazy shouts resounded throughout the island, and all the pirates looked at Yami angrily. It's just that most of the pirates didn't dare to rush up to suppress Yami's arrogance. Just kidding. The huge rocks hundreds of meters in size were directly dissolved by the opponent with a more terrifying attack, and they were also transformed into meteorite fragments and fell, smashing them. Such a terrifying powerhouse. How dare these little horses rush up to give people their heads? That Ulquiorra has not been dispatched for the time being. First concentrate on killing that Yami. Marco looked at Ulquiorra, who had no intention of doing anything, and after thinking for a few seconds, he said decisively. As long as the 4th Espada doesn't shoot, then they have a chance to kill the other Espada first. Only in this way can there be a chance to stand out. As for whether to wait until after Yami is killed, take this opportunity to get everyone on board and kill Ulquiorra. Ha ha. Marco can't imagine that such a thing can happen. Miracles, they only have a dozen high-end combat power, and he and Diamond Yoja are comparable to Admiral. But there is no strength that can kill and crush two admirals, and the demon in front of him has indeed had this record. 18. Even if Ulquiorra is really dealt with, he doesn't think they can survive an army of hundreds of thousands. It is good. Several captains agreed one after another, and each displayed their abilities with all their strength, encircled and rushed towards Yami. Eat my mallet. The captain of the 6th Division, Brahmink, took out a sledgehammer from his chin, and his body jumped to the top of Yami's head, hitting Yami's head directly. Scrap. Go away. 35. Yami snorted coldly, and slammed the punch that wrapped Ryotsu upwards, smashing Brahminki's sledgehammer, and then grabbed him, the scarlet Ryotsu condensed in the palm of his hand. Die. Advertisement. With a grim smile, a flash of action erupted. Under the terrified attention of other people, Brahmink was directly swallowed by Sero, and with a scream, he was blasted hundreds of meters away. The whole body was burning with flames, and he lost consciousness and fell heavily on the ground. The body in front of him was already burned and smashed, and even the heart was burned away. Seeing the tragic state of Brahmink, the rest of the captains were furious. Damn Espada. Phoenix Seal. Marco swooped, and a shockwave of golden blue claws slammed into Yami, and Joe's also roared straight up, intending to get close to him. After all, he is the most defensive man in the world, and close combat is his greatest advantage. Yami punched out directly, and a virtual bullet dissipated Marco's Phoenix Seal. Although Yami didn't have the ability to swivel, his speed was not slow, and he dodged Joe's collision. Reaching out his hand to hold his head and slamming it down, his knees flew. Joe's was horrified and wanted to resist, but what surprised him was that Yami's strength far surpassed him too much. He couldn't resist at all, his head was hit directly by the top of his knee, and he only heard a pop. Diamond, cracked. What? Joe screamed. His head was a little dizzy, and was kicked out by Yami, hitting Lakio who was rushing up. Cry. The birds chirped loudly. Marco moved at high speed in the air, the bird's claws fell straight from the sky, wrapped around armament hockey, and kicked Yami's back fiercely. Clang. Just hearing the sound of steel collision, Marco's complexion changed. His paw actually only tore apart a layer of the other's skin? Is the opponent's body made of steel? Even the huge power he carried after moving at a high speed and the flying kick that entangled with hockey couldn't make the opponent break the defense and get injured. Advertisement. Being kicked heavily in the back, Yami staggered, tilted his head and looked sideways. With a fierce look in his eyes, he shot out and punched Marco's bird's leg. Marco was in pain and let go of his claws. But Yami wouldn't let go of this damn guy who dared to approach him, stretched out his hand to grab the bird's leg, and the terrifying power exploded instantly, pulling Marco forward and smashing it directly. Lousy is not some kind of scumbag. Want to hit him? Marco shouted angrily. Although the terrifying unstoppable force still slammed him on the ground, he still fanned the huge golden blue flame wings, his body spun wildly, and a splendid flame formed a flame drill. The ground was hollowed out by a huge rotating flame drill, and Marco, who turned into a flame drill, roared angrily, and the huge flame drill plunged into Yami's arms. Clang clang. The violent steel collision sounded again and again, and the terrifying offensive was extremely powerful. But under Yami's steel skin and high-strength Ryotsu, Marco's flaming drill bit tickled. Death. Marco roared loudly. Armament hockey continued to strengthen, and the flame output became even more terrifying. In the end, with a bang, the Ryotsu wall was broken. Marco's face was overjoyed, and then he was horrified and wanted to escape. It's a good turn, don't turn it next time. 99. Yami grinned horribly, like a ghost, and grabbed Marco's legs with both hands. Just as he was about to shred Marco, a blue figure flashed over. Taking advantage of Yami's hands to catch Marco, the 8th Division Captain Namur took the opportunity to seize the opportunity, rushed forward, punched in the abdomen with a punch, but made a steel sound of clang. That Muir was startled, his eyes of disbelief became fierce, he opened his bloody mouth, revealing a mouthful of murloc teeth, and bit Yami's waist and abdomen fiercely. Boom. F***K. Why is it so hard? Hey, your saliva is disgusting. Advertisement. Bang bang. Looking at Muir, the murloc who bit his waist, Yami's eyes flashed a bloody and cruel look, and he grabbed Marco Wong and slammed it down. Immediately afterwards, Yami stretched out his hand angrily, and in the horrified eyes of Oedo Muir, he grabbed the opponent's head and pulled it up. Puff. And then. Pierce the heart. The palm of the hand turned into a hand knife, pierced directly into the heart of Muir, pierced it, pulled out his hand, and was holding a heart that was slowly losing its vitality and jumping. That Muir. Another captain was killed by Yami's hand, and the eyes of the captains were split. Yami, damn Christie Kingdom, damn it. Seeing the death of the captains one by one, Lakio and Joe's charged with anger again. But this time Yami had no chance to kill them, because Ulquiorra can't stand it anymore. Rumbling. A flash of discoloration passed through the island, and Yoja, Lakio and the other two captains were directly engulfed in it, and disappeared instantly. A terrifying flash shot across the Whitebeard pirates' camp, a terrifying flash exploded, blasting off half of the island, and the shocking explosion spread. The terrifying shockwave swept through all directions, and everyone was crushed by the impacted wind, tenaciously stabilizing their body and resisting the strong wind. Too slow, Yami. Ulquiorra raised his hand and his index finger rose in wisps of Ryatsu's heat. In the indifferent pupils, there is a ruthless look.